Upgrade your HVAC system now and you could qualify for Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. Rebates available for a limited time. For a free estimate, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Not a light weekend to be on vacation. It was not for me, but I'm back and I did stay connected to the news. So I will do my best to catch up and to give you the latest news that is going on. Like this, accuser number 5, Eric Swalwell, is in some serious deep doo-doo.
The other women who have come forward. And I will be making a report to law enforcement shortly with my attorneys. I think you have to switch places with her. I gotta go now.
So there you have the 5th accuser at this press conference that just wrapped up within the last few minutes here. And she has said that she met with Swalwell. I think the year was 2018, 2019, 3 times total. She is a Southern Californian. She had interest in being involved in politics, and Swalwell took interest in her. She said she was involved in a modeling agency, and she had a modeling software company. And apparently, Mr. Swalwell said, I can help you out in this regard. Met with her on 3 occasions. On the 3rd occasion, oh shucks, Representative Swalwell forgot some papers in his hotel room. Apparently, according to what we've just heard from the accuser here, he drugged her drink and then raped her in the hotel room. When they went back there, she felt her body lose her ability to control her body. She could tell that she had been affected by some sort of substance, and he went on and raped her. That's the accuser that we've just heard right now, and there's more where that came from. We've got a few more clips here I'm going to play in case you didn't get to hear this news, because this is significant. You've got the man who was considerably, potentially going to be the governor of California next. I could do shows upon shows of my thoughts on Eric Swalwell as a completely, entirely worthless individual in the House of Representatives whose only purpose is to run to a camera on some Trump-hating network to just talk about and throw out these accusations. Like, he's always picking fights. Have you ever noticed that? Everywhere he goes, he's picking fights. He has an arrogance, that stench about him when he's just talking about politics. But little did we know, in the midst of the Trump-hating experience that he gave people, like, it's the hit that you need if you hate Donald Trump and you're tuned in MSNBC or CNN and Swalwell's on, he's going to say stuff that you love. What else has this man done? Well, now we're finding out some of the other things that this man has done. And yes, it's absolutely reprehensible behavior. It's unbelievable to consider what this individual has been doing while being on the Me Too stump, while shaking his fist at the sky at President Donald Trump for what he accused Donald Trump of doing. Over and over and over again, we are seeing that this man is an absolute and total hypocrite. Are these accusations, is he guilty? Well, you know what? He gets to go in front of a court of law, and it sounds as though that is what is going to happen. From potential frontrunner for governor of California saying these allegations aren't true, but I'm going to step out of this race, to the I'm going to fight these allegations. You can't just kick somebody out of Congress without going through an actual, ethics probe about it. Oh, I'm going to step down from Congress, which he has not done yet. To now a 5th accuser here, going in front of cameras saying this man raped me. It's really unbelievable. Here's more from the press conference that just wrapped right now. Let's listen in.
In 2018, while I was living and working as a model in Beverly Hills, and I also owned a fashion software company, I I had contact with Eric Swalwell on 3 separate occasions after meeting him socially. He offered me connections to further my software company, and I also had an interest in local politics. He invited me to 2 public events. I knew he was married at the time and that his wife was pregnant. He was my friend. On the 3rd occasion, I believe he drugged my drink. I only had 1 glass of wine. We were supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me, and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health.
So listening to her give that story of what she experienced with Eric Swalwell, what she's accusing Eric Swalwell of doing, you know, how many years, Ryan, have we been spending time talking about what some accusers have said about Donald Trump with no proof?
Since 2016.
All of them.
Yeah, all of the years.
All of the years that Trump has been in the political picture. Really, only the ones where Trump was a Republican.
That's right.
So is Swalwell guilty? We're going to find out, because later on the lawyer for this individual the lawyer said that they believe that true justice will be found in a court of law. If Swalwell resigns today, which he said he's going to do, if Swalwell resigns today from Congress, then the House Ethics Committee is done with him. And so that just ends. There's no justice there. And I mean, honestly, folks, if what is being accused here is accurate, is losing your job. Like, imagine you get to rape somebody and your worst case scenario is you lose your job. That's disgusting. It's unbelievable. And there's no other place where you would have individuals act in such an entitled, grotesque, narcissistic type of manner and think that they could get away with it. I am convinced, and we're going to talk a little bit about here. Is this the AP article that you got for me here? Perfect. Thank you. I am convinced of 2 things when it comes to Congress. I think that the realization that there are so many people in Washington, D.C. who are away. They're gone from everything that is important to them. They are away on business most of the time. Their away on business becomes home around a bunch of other people who are away on business, that it creates a culture of sexual immorality, indecency, and deviancy that can happen, because if everybody's doing it, who's going to say anything? That domino effect is too scary to, tip the first one. And here's why. And this is the gross part, folks. This is why. Because what if some people on your political side of the aisle get busted? What if there are people on the side of the aisle that you support that get outed in this? If everybody's hands are dirty in this, then let's just all keep our mouths shut. It is, in my personal, yes, I will cite my Lutheran understanding of humanity, sinful nature is who we are. We are a sinful, broken people, and sexual desire is going to work overdrive in an instance created such as what we have in Washington, D.C. It's just going to be there. And there aren't the boundaries in Washington, D.C. Those, you go home every day to your wife. You go home every day to your kids, or to your you go to the job with the same coworkers who have family and kids, and those people know your family and kids. Like, there's just, you live an existence that these people in Washington, D.C. don't. And that's not to say if you go there, you're going to do these things. But I am saying if you go there and you're prone to do these things, it's just so simple. And if everybody is doing it, and I think the fact that it's a both sides of the aisle thing is what makes it feel so sickeningly safe for people in Washington, D.C. Just like, oh my gosh, everybody's participating in this behavior. You're goody two-shoes if you don't. You're the outsider if you don't do that.
Yeah, you're probably not going to the parties and stuff.
Yeah. And if you're not going to the parties, are you going to get put on the... I'm making stuff up. I'm just assuming. You're going to get put on the committees. Are you going to get the appointments? Are you going to get the speaking engagements? Are you going to get to do the flex that those other people get to do because they're playing the game? Because if you're in, then you can't talk. Now, Tony Gonzalez is a representative from Texas, and we're going to talk about him in a little bit. After we get done talking to Chad Pergram, we're going to be talking about his situation, which is a different situation, but a similar ending to the situation, which is a conversation that I want to have here because the AP reports, this is today, April. Congress Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez of Texas said Monday he will retire from Congress after bipartisan calls to expel him. Gonzalez already said he would not seek re-election after admitting to an affair with a staff member who later died by suicide. His retirement announcement came just hours after Swalwell's announcement came. So, we're going to dig into the details a little bit here from what we know. Gonzalez had an affair with a staffer. First thing I want to know was it consensual? I know that Gonzalez was married at the time, correct? Yes. So, are we talking about immorality or are we talking about illegality? It is not illegal to have an affair. It is incredibly immoral to have an affair. You do not have to be in Washington, D.C. or Congress to be susceptible to that. It happens everywhere. You and I both know that. For a whole myriad of reasons. It is immoral when it happens. It's not necessarily illegal when it happens. What Swalwell is being accused of is rape. We'll talk in a little bit about, is it different? Is it different in the House of Representatives? Is it different in culture? I think those are two very different questions. And if it's a staffer of Gonzalez's, who's a Republican from Texas, who has said he's going to step down now, there is a power differential that exists there that obviously makes it inappropriate. Just like in your place of work, you're not likely dating across power levels, management levels within your business. The YouTube poll for today, should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to ethics violations? Yes, even if it costs the majority. No, hold everyone accountable. Let us know what you think in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. When we come back, Chad Pergram is going to join us. Gosh, there's a lot going on in Congress. This doesn't even have anything to do with, we didn't fund the government while I was gone, did we? They were not working either.
They haven't done anything.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Chad Pergram on the Annie Frey Show next.
If anyone calls or messages you about investing your money and promises quick profits, guaranteed returns, or can't miss opportunities, stop. Don't fall for the call. I'm Denny Hoskins, Missouri Secretary of State. Our office regulates investing and works to protect investors. Call the Missouri Securities Hotline at 800-721-7996 or visit MissouriProtectsInvestors.com. Paid for by the Missouri Investor Education and Protection Fund. This is a public service announcement.
The Biz-Dash 5K, presented by Worldwide Technology, is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, this high-energy corporate race is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, fun, and unbeatable team bonding for companies of every size. Runners and walkers of all levels are welcome. It all comes together at Energizer Park Thursday, May 7th in downtown St. Louis. An office party like no other. Create your company team today at STL bizdash.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymatters.stl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IBW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
People who are in positions of power and authority over others need to be held accountable when they take advantage of that position. And frankly, I'm glad that he'll be gone.
You are?
Yeah.
It was a good decision.
Why is that?
You don't have to be a rocket science to figure that out. It's terrible what has been alleged.
We just took a giant step backwards. I felt, maybe wrongly, that we were evolving.
So there you hear some of the senators or congressional folks on the Hill talking about Eric Swalwell and his decision to remove himself from the governor's race, certainly, but also to resign from Congress. And then, of course, Republican from Texas, Gonzalez, saying shortly after the announcement from Swalwell that he, too, would be stepping down due to some dramatics around an affair that he had that resulted in the suicide of the woman he had an affair with. It's an incredibly tragic situation. Capitol Hill is full of drama, and this time it doesn't seem to have as much about politics. Let's talk to Chad Pergram about it, senior congressional correspondent for Fox News and our go-to for Capitol Hill expertise. Chad Pergram, welcome back.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Very dramatic day so far, a couple days on Capitol Hill. What can you tell us about the buzz that's going on there and what you potentially see happening in the next few days regarding these potential resignations?
Well, both Tony Gonzalez from Texas and Eric Swalwell are going to step down. They both said so. We're just waiting to see when that's going to be. Some of the information that's come out that's alleged about Swalwell has been pretty damning in just the past hour here, arguing that he had raped this woman who's in question, and so there was a push that they were probably going to expel both of these members, and so they're trying to get out in front of that train. Now, this is where this gets a little more complicated. There are two other members who face ethics questions. Sheila Sherfilis McCormick, a Democrat of Florida, who has actually had an ethics trial before the Senate, before the House, in the Ethics Committee. And, we believe that they're going to try to expel her, and the recommendation is going to come out from the Ethics Committee in the coming days. Meantime, there is a Democratic push and some Republicans to push out Corey Mills, who's a Republican from Florida. Now, why do I bring these other two up? I thought there was a point before Swalwell and Gonzalez said they would step down that they might try to do this all in one fell swoop and expel 4 members all at once. They've only expelled, 6 members in House history. It takes 2/3, but I think the votes probably would have been there to do it all at once. In a strange way, this makes things more complicated because you get away from this parity. The idea that, Sheila Sherfilis McCormick has already had an ethics trial. She's going to have a criminal trial this summer. She's probably, en route to being expelled. Corey Mills, though, we don't know as much about his alleged transgressions. There was a restraining order from his girlfriend. No police report was ever filed. There's some questions about whether or not he had ballooned his service record with the military. Some campaign finance issues. He is before the Ethics Committee right now, but, that's not settled yet. So, would Democrats balk if there's a move to push out Sheila Sherfilis McCormick and not have that parity with Corey Mills? You see, I think everybody was kind of willing to go along with Gonzalez and Swalwell because actually their transgressions are similar. There's some similarity there. So I think people, and that's 1 for 1. This is why, in the history of the Republic, there's only been 6 people expelled. It's hard to do.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Chad Pergram speaking with us right now. What kind of Speaker Johnson, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, is there a bipartisan dealing that's going on right now? Do they have to work together in order to get to the end of this?
They could potentially, but you know what? At the end of the day, if you put up a privilege resolution to expel someone, they're done. Jeffries had said a few days ago that he had not spoken with Swalwell. He would not illuminate on whether or not he had had private conversations with Swalwell today. We do know that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who at one point was an ally of Eric Swalwell, being from Northern California, they were aligned, and she did speak with him, and she still holds a lot of sway around here, certainly with the California delegation. And so that, had some play on that. But again, we're in some different turf here, and it's hard to speak to because, like I said, we've done this so rarely in congressional history. The last one was George Santos in late 2023. And before that, Jim Trafficant in 2022. And before that, you have to go back to 1980. And before that, you have to go back to the Civil War. So, yeah, trying to read this. And here's something else that's important. The Constitution says that members, can be the judge of others and decide who sits in the House or not. So they have the right to kick them out. But it does take 2/3 to expel. But that said, members really don't want to do this. And that's why a lot of times in relation to these votes, and it's not so much that they're trying to hide something. It's probably the toughest vote that a member is asked to take compared to a vote to go to war, which is another question, which we can talk about if you want. But considering things in Iran right now, but the idea that they all with different ethics issues, whether it's something more minor, campaign finance issues, do they just put a slap on the hand? Do they reprimand somebody? Do they censure someone? Well, this is different, and that's why a lot of times you have these motions to refer this to the Ethics Committee for more investigation, or a motion to table, or whatever to kill the resolution right there. I think that probably had they had Swalwell and had Swalwell and Gonzalez not said that they were going to resign, they'd forge ahead with that. And we think that's going to happen in the next day or so. But, there's some people up here that if they don't go right away, they're going to force those votes on the floor.
Chad Pergram speaking with us right now. I want to give you, I know you have to run. I want to give you the opportunity to talk about the business of the American people that's not being done while this is being ironed out. We still don't have DHS funded, as I understand it. We are in level, 7, 8, 9 of war in Iran. There's a lot going on that the American people need to have addressed in Congress. Are they getting anything done?
Well, at some point here, we think that there's going to be a bill through the Senate, starting in the Senate, using this special process, budget reconciliation, where they can bypass a filibuster and not involve the Democrats, to fund DHS. Now, the question is, do they try to put other things in there? As we've talked before, budget reconciliation says that you have to have a narrow process and it has to be fiscal in nature. And there's others who say, well, we ought to put Iran money in that. Well, that's not going to be budget neutral. It has to be budget neutral. Okay, when you're talking about a lot of money for the war, is it appropriate to put the Save America Act dealing with voting in there? Tommy Tuberville, Republican of Alabama, wants that. Does that pass constitutional muster? The Senate has to worry about these things with its rules. The House does not. And so if they stumble in this effort to try to do this, I just talked to Bill Haggerty. He's a Republican senator from Tennessee a few minutes ago, and I said, well, the more things you put in there, the longer it's going to take. We are almost at day 60 of the government shutdown with the Department of Homeland Security. And President Trump says he wants this bill done by the 1st of June. Well, that's another 6 weeks from now. And if you're trying to put the Save America Act in it and Iran funding and all these other things, it gets very, very complicated, and you probably, miss that deadline.
Senior Congressional Correspondent for Fox News, Chad Pergram, speaking with us right now. Okay, so last question I have for you. What is the balance of power right now in the House of Representatives, and how would that quickly change if we do see at least these 2 resignations?
Well, you've asked another loaded question because it changes as we speak. As we speak right now, it is 432 members, 217 Republicans, 214 Democrats, 1 independent. That's including Gonzalez and Swalwell. Well, later today, and there's 1 independent. Kevin Kiley used to be a Republican. He's an independent from California now. Well, later today, they're going to swear in Clay Fuller, who won Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat in Georgia. So that's an ad for the Republicans. And later this week, there's a special election in New Jersey to succeed Mikey Sherrill, the governor of New Jersey. And Annalena Mejia is probably going to win that seat. That's a Democratic seat. And so you change the math right away. You could lose Swalwell and Gonzalez this week and be right back where you were by the end of the week because you've added yet another Democrat and another Republican. And we've still not addressed Sherfulis, McCormick, and Mills. as we say, I mean, there's some algebra. I say it's about the math.
This is
well,
calculus.
This is about the algebra.
This
yes,
is
exactly.
you need to up it to calculus. So we're at 217 Republican, 214 Democrats, 1 independent. We're going to lose a Democrat and Republican and likely add a Democrat and Republican by the end of the week. So we start where we began.
Yeah, and it depends when they swear them in. And again, what happens with Sheriff Phyllis McCormick, what happens with Mills, and there's still one vacancy here. It doesn't, Doug LaMalfa, Republican from California, died earlier this year. It doesn't look like there would be a special election in in California for Swalwell, maybe till the fall, maybe until Election Day. In other words, they would hold the election for his seat and also for the next term for 2027, and also the special election to fulfill the last 2 months of this term. It might not happen until maybe, later this year or even on Election Day where you have 2 simultaneous elections. That's happened before.
Well, it looks like a 1-for-1 with the Republican and the Democrats. It doesn't look like Speaker Hakeem Jeffries is likely, at least not this week.
Well, again, you have to look at so many people who would have to leave or resign. Again, you talked about the calculus there. That gets, because even with a 3-vote margin, right now, and that, we throw in Kevin Kiley, the independent from California, as the wild card, then you still have to kind of mess around a little bit. You have to get under that. You have to have 3 more people go away. You see, it gets really complicated. It's hard to see a scenario where Jeffries becomes the speaker in the middle of a Congress. I wouldn't rule it out ever, certainly in this environment with such a tight margin, but it would be pretty challenging.
All right. Chad Pergram will be connecting with you as much as we possibly can. You've got all the information we need and the best at presenting it to us. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks
Take care. Bye-bye. Chad Pergram, senior congressional correspondent for Fox News with the latest. I mean, imagine all of that detail that's going on there. Scooter commented on there, 6 people in 250 years expelled from Congress. They probably feel pretty insulated from unethical behavior.
Heck yes, they do. They're not, this is rare that they're even talking about trying it.
I will add, though, to that the actual expulsion of people from Congress is up to the American people before it's up to the American government. You get an opportunity to expel as a voter every 2 years. Then you could look into potentially campaign finances and how it's like once you're in there and you've got the big pot of money, Republican and Democrat alike, you're just going to go with the person who has the big pot of money. And look at what Eric's, I can't emphasize this enough. Brian Kilmeade was saying this right before we went on the air because he was on Outnumbered. He said, he's like, Eric Swalwell's never done a thing. Nothing. His job is to be, when you're watching maybe a late 90s, early 2000s, high school, kind of college, cheesy movie, but you like it because it's simple. And there's that guy who you can't wait to get it in the end. You can't wait to watch, you watch that whole movie. Okay, yeah, those two are going to fall in love. They're going to kiss at the end, whatever. But you want to see the jackwagon in the movie get his comeuppance. That's Eric Swalwell. That's who he is. And watching him get what he deserves has always been something. I've always said Adam Schiff is the one. Of all the people in Washington, D.C. that I would like to see get their comeuppance, Adam Schiff, that would be so sinfully enjoyable for me to watch him get what he deserves. But I think you said Swalwell when we talked about this last time.
I did but he's not as he's not as good at it as Adam Schiff.
But here's the worst thing. Here's the thing about it that's worse is that he's worse than we thought he was. What we wanted him to get his comeuppance for is
this stuff's worse than that.
Nothing compared to what he's being accused of right now. Innocent until proven guilty. The lawyer and the 5th accuser of Swalwell's, just before our show began, did a press conference and said that they are going to take this and hand over all the evidence that they have, the accusations that they're making, hand it all over to the criminal justice system because they believe justice will actually be served and found through that. Because once he resigns from Congress, that House Ethics Committee investigation, poof, gone. He's not in the House anymore.
That should be noted that probably happens way more than people getting kicked out, where they're about to and they just quit.
And then the public doesn't know.
And then you don't know.
What's Eric Swalwell going to do next if he's not in jail? The YouTube poll is not that. Should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to ethics violations? Yes, even if it costs the majority, or no, hold everyone accountable. We'll be right back.
At a local speed dating event, homeowners weren't looking for love. They were looking for the one. Honey, I got the best news.
What, you installed all the ceiling fans?
No, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Yeah, oh, you are, but this one is certified, background check, and everyone was fighting over him. Plus, he can install all the ceiling fans.
Okay, who is this guy?
A Jerry Kelly technician.
For heating, cooling, electrical, or plumbing, find the one for your home. Schedule today at JerryKelly.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Okay, the question we're asking you today for the YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Frey Show is, should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to ethics violations? Here are your choices. Listen carefully. Yes, even if it costs the majority, or no, hold everyone accountable. Here's a comment from our text line. It says, I would argue that any adulterous affair by a member of Congress or a government official, such as president, whether they believe it is consensual or not, is an abuse of power and should be raised to the level of sexual assault. What do you think? You can text in comments just like that person did at 314-241-9797 or leave a comment on the stream today as we are live. 12:36 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Built in the heartland, for the heartland. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I was going to do this whole thing today. First of all, flying home yesterday on the flight, free Wi-Fi on Southwest Airlines. I understand why it's free.
Not very good.
It sucks. That doesn't matter as much other than to say I was going to do this whole thing about the Pope and Trump and Trump's stupid Jesus picture. You don't look like a doctor. If I'm going into surgery, and I've had a few, if I'm going into surgery and the guy walks in dressed like Jesus, I'm opting out.
Dude, if the guy walks in like that wearing a robe and his hands are glowing, I'm like, bring it. Whatever you got, touch my chest.
That looks fun.
You may have already opted out.
Yeah, exactly. We could talk about the Trump Jesus picture. I mean, it just seems so not important to throw up to the top of the show. I don't like to talk about the Pope at all. I don't like to bring it up. Folks, I'm a Lutheran Church Missouri Synod Lutheran. Not big on the Pope. So am I team Pope? Am I team Trump? No, I'm team my kids and my family and America first and all of that type of stuff. But ultimately, my Christian faith is the driving guide for my life. And sometimes I feel like everybody's stupid. I'm not on anybody's team here. And I don't want to come on to my show where I'm here to talk about things. Yes, ultimately, I look at my show as a way to entertain. If you're not entertained by the information of the day, then you're going to go do something else. You're going to go listen to the mad beats being thrown over a Y98. Is that what they do? Is that what Jake's doing over there right now?
Yeah, that's what's going on. I can
mad
see
beats?
how. Yeah, they're throwing bad beats.
He's really cooking over there.
Beets.
Beats. It's just like a health
They're pickling.
kick. Yeah. Speaking of Dana Lash. I was here when Dana first got hooked up with Super Beats. Yeah. And she's still doing it. I'm like, I need a Super
Yeah,
Beats.
we want Super Beats.
I'll take Super Beats.
I like Beats.
Mad Beats. That's there's so much radio, at least old school radio promotion in Mad Beats.
Yeah. Brian Kilmeade had a website for a long time called Brian's Beats.
Brian's Beats.
We need Annie's Beats.
I wanted to talk about the Jesus picture. I actually think that Trump, while he's standing next to, these are not real. This isn't real. We're not in a real timeline. There's some sort of like Thanos snap alternate timeline going on right now, and we need to get back to the real one. But while Donald Trump is explaining that he thought he was a doctor and not Jesus, while he's standing next to DoorDash grandma, tipping her money and so that she can talk about how great the no tax on tips thing is, it's like, that is a political burrito that I did not see coming.
Yes.
All of it all at once, and you eat it, and it's delicious.
And she got
I'm not ordering this again.
2 days of coverage out of that lady.
Good for
She was
DoorDash
everywhere.
grandma. When DoorDash grandma shows up in D.C. to deliver your food, she's either going to get mad tips or she's going to have to run back to her car.
I like the idea that she just showed up at the White House. They were like, I guess if he ordered DoorDash, he just has to come to the door.
I don't like to say this a lot, but I've been there.
Oh, I know.
It requires a little bit of preparation to get past those big old gates.
See, I don't like any of that. I like the idea it's the people's house. He just called DoorDash. He said, I want a Big Mac, and Grandma shows up.
Knocks on the door.
I want a Big Mac. I want a bunch of Big Macs, and I want an old lady who really is pumped about her tax return to show up and deliver it to me.
Yeah, and then she's going to do some press.
But it's got to be during a press conference.
Right, yeah, there's 4 or 5 cameras already there.
I'm not making fun of him. It's political genius. The fact that they're willing to do it, to me, humanizes him, and it's so. Eric Swalwell is a great example of this, but like all of the manufacturing tie straightening, I don't like it when Republicans do it. I don't like it when Democrats do it. Everything is put upon like we're just sitting here and like, gosh, those people really have it together. That's so inspirational. I want to be like them.
They are.
And then look at what they're doing behind closed doors.
Their stock picks are spot on.
I know. What are we even doing? That's DoorDash's stock price today. I don't. Going back to the Pope and the Jesus doctor picture, Dr. Jesus, Dr. Christ. It never occurred to me that it could have been a doctor. When he said it was a doctor, I was like, oh, come on. And I looked at it and I'm like,
if you squint hard enough.
That sounds like the only, I was going to say 2%. Let's bump it down to 1.25%.
Okay.
Plausible. I don't know. Let's just say he thought it was not Jesus. What else could he be? Doctor? Okay. Let's go with that.
Here's the.
And then you look at him. He comes out here and he says it, and I look at it and I'm like, I don't think that he thought that. I think this is a Trump apology. I think this is the closest we're going to get to a Donald Trump apology. I think that the picture was blasphemous, and I also am not surprised that he posted it. I am actually surprised that he took it down and said that he thought it was something else. I think that this is the biggest mea culpa that we've seen from Donald Trump, maybe let's say top 10 of all time, maybe top 5, of him to actually take that down because it was stupid to post. And anybody who's out there right now saying that Donald Trump is infallible, like Jesus, even Trump's like, it's not Jesus, I'm a doctor. I'm an America First doctor, not a Jesus type. I don't think he thought that. I think he saw that photo. I don't think that Donald Trump thinks I don't think that he goes through life thinking foundationally from a principled place of Christian faith. And if you do, like most of you and like I did, you see that and you're like, that's Jesus. What the heck is he doing? If you don't come from that place, I don't think you don't have those thoughts. And if you're somebody who has, and guys, you go back to what is it, like the 2010s, maybe even before that, whenever Trump was on X saying crazy crap all the time. He's a fast tweeter. He's a fast X poster. What do we call that? Twixting? When it first changed?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what he does. If you don't like it, it's because you, in your heart of hearts, in your soul, you understand that Jesus is above all of these things. That's your principle. Trump says he's a Christian. I pray that he's a Christian. I pray that Eric Swalwell's a Christian. I don't want Trump to be in heaven because he's the Republican and he's on my team. I want people to know Jesus and to understand that whatever broken nature they have, like Trump, like Swalwell, like anybody who's ever walked the face of the planet, I want them all to know that they are not outside of God's grace, because to limit God's grace means that I'm in trouble too, because I'm as broken as anybody as the next person. That's what I believe. That's what I want. I don't need Donald Trump to be a missionary to me, to be a person who is articulating smoothly and succinctly scripture. I want him to be motivated by what is good, right, and moral. For me, my foundation, my morality comes from the Bible, from the Christian faith. I understand that if you're listening to this show, that might not be you. But that's what I want from all of our leaders. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I care more about those people being in heaven and escaping the depths of hell than I do about winning an election. So I have Christian conflict with Donald Trump not seeing Jesus in that picture first, A, or B, lying about it, which is it's a separate issue. Either one of those is a problem. Neither one of them made me think about impeachment. It doesn't. I will not sit here and listen to the political back and forth from people who do not hold scriptures as the ultimate infallible truth talk to me about Donald Trump posting a Jesus picture. That is incompatible for me. My conflict with him posting that picture is because it's like blasphemous. It's like a First Commandment issue. And I have a problem with that. But that is a separate issue from the politics. And it's not surprising. The Bible talks all about people who are of earth, who have accountability and standards in a kingdom of the left, which is the earthly kingdom, versus the kingdom of the right, which is the heavenly kingdom. And I think that Donald Trump needs to, I pray that he understands that he doesn't have to work his way into heaven, that God already did all the work for him. That's a separate issue. I also hope that he kicks butt in this war in Iran. I hope that he wins back the majority or retains the majority in the midterms in November. And I hope that he continues to improve the tax returns of all of the DoorDash grandmas and Home Depot grandpas that are out there in the world. I just hope that happens. Can we not have all of those things at the same time? I think we can.
And I've done intense research about this topic, the only way I could see that be true of Trump is that if he started dabbling in AI and
he's not doing that.
I know that. I'm just saying. And people are saying,
this
get
picture
him off
was
of there.
posted way before he posted it.
So this isn't something that
he saw and he liked it. I have an idea why, because it made him feel glorious in a way that he couldn't. I can't put.
Can't put his
who
finger
are the
on
most
it.
powerful people? Like doctors are pretty powerful. They do cool things.
Remember when I said I did intense research?
You didn't.
I did not.
No, but you know what Wiggins does do intense research on? Mommy influencers, which is amazingly what Wiggins America is about. Next, the inside the exploitative world of mommy influencers.
Oh, we're going deep.
I'll eat these people alive.
Yeah, you will.
We'll be right back. AirComfortService.com. Have you reached out to them to help fix your air conditioner yet? I hope you have, but if you haven't, why? It's going to be like 90 degrees today. I was in Florida, and I'm like, gosh, what are we going back to here in the Midwest? 89 degrees. Hooray. I love it. It's just 3 degrees warmer than the perfect temperature. If your air conditioner isn't working today, though, you're going to be regretting not calling Air Comfort Service for that service call. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and get them out there to make sure that your service call is done right the first time. They'll have a licensed technician come to your home and do a thorough diagnostic check of your system. If your HVAC system stops working overnight, weekends, holidays, Air Comfort Service is offering you 24/7 service as well. Reach out to Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. And make sure when you give them a call for that 24/7 service that you tell them Annie sent you. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk in Action is spotlighting Our Ladies Inn, providing safe shelter, care, and support for pregnant women and children facing homelessness. Since 1982, they've helped local families build stable, independent futures. Learn more at OurLadiesInn.org.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mark Cox here. Beat the spring cleaning rush and zero res. This week, 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and whole system duct cleaning for just $5.99. Visit ZeroResSTL.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com. Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
Does heart disease run in your family? Give yourself peace of mind with our cardiac MRI bundles at Specialty MRI. Personalized scans designed to give you clear, meaningful answers. No long waiting rooms. Scan today for a peace of mind tomorrow. Call us at 636-591-1288. That's 636-591-1288.
Annie Frey is St. Louis conservative.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! All right. Deep dive here into the exploitative, cynical.
People are like, what's going on with Iran? What happened with Swalwell?
No, let's talk about mommy influence.
Annie Frey Show, Wiggins America.
That's why we do the second page news here in this segment, because it's not.
Don't flatter yourself.
This is more like fourth page, maybe even further.
This is the cheap paid ad on the back.
Actually, this is a pretty deep article.
Which, if you want to sponsor Wiggins America, I mean, we can cut you a sweet deal.
Oh heck yeah, I would love you long time.
Someone's like, ew, $5.
So here is the deal. It starts with telling a story, so I'll tell this story because I think it's pretty interesting, based on what you see online. It starts with this woman named Jamie Otis, who is a mommy influencer on Instagram primarily. In this video, she says, "Something's off with our son. Something's off with our son," holding her limp, dazed 2-year-old, Hendrix, and calling to her husband, Doug, for help. "He's going to seize, I think. Call 911. This was in 2022, and Hendrix had a febrile seizure, the kid had, frightening convulsions triggered by fever in young children. Otis, Jamie Otis, a reality TV regular turned influencer, was frantic, wondering if they should drive 27 miles to the nearest hospital or call an ambulance. It was all terrifying, and Otis's 1 million Instagram followers saw every second of it. This was just moments before my baby became unresponsive, stopped breathing, and his lips turned blue," she wrote in the caption of her posted video, which remains online today. Now, that seems very gross, but it is not the only story like it that's happening.
So the kid was going to have a seizure and...
It did have a seizure.
And had a seizure, and she documented it?
She just videotaped the whole thing.
What state is she in?
I don't know what state she's in.
Illinois passed a law that says if you use your children in your social media exposure, that you have to set aside money for them, that they get to share in the profits.
Right.
Don't get distracted. Nate Foy is on television right now.
I'm not distracted.
I am. I just know how much you love him. He just raised his eyebrow at you. Go on.
At me?
At you, yeah. He's looking right
He's
over your
watching
shoulder.
the Annie Frey show right now on TV?
Yeah.
It says that Otis's defense of this is that she says, well, I'm a nurse, and she told the Post
and an influencer.
And an influencer. Just so
What are the
happens to be.
odds?
That she initially recorded the seizure to show her child's doctor. And that's a common practice, but also posted it to educate and inform other parents.
What other kind of content does she do?
It's just typical mommy stuff. I don't really know. This one caught a lot of grief because it looked very much like she's using her child's illness to get clicks.
Well, give more time, Brad. I can't judge this woman and the content she's putting up without seeing actually all the content, because if this child has a condition that does it say what the condition is?
It just says that the type of seizure that he had, but it didn't say the condition.
Other moms would benefit from being connected to other moms or dads, certainly, who are experiencing the same type of thing, because the information there is helpful. And I mean, I have friends who have children who have very rare medical conditions, and they look all over the world to find people who are experiencing the thing they're experiencing. So I can't, from your story, judge whether this mom is like, hey, kid's having a seizure, set up the cameras, get the lighting.
From reading about it.
On what article? Who's it from?
New York Post. And she did an interview with the Post on it. From reading it, it doesn't sound like this is the primary thing she does. She's not there to educate people about medical issues.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the context of her, if she has a YouTube channel, if she has an Instagram account that is there to talk about, epilepsy in children or some sort of food allergy, and she's talking about how she makes different types of foods that don't have nuts in them, just like that. If the channel is used to educate through her life experience, I probably don't have a lot of problem with that. I'd have to see the content to understand fully if she's exploiting her child or if she's educating the public.
Well, here's a real quick stat. If you have 10 million subscribers on YouTube, the average person who has that many makes around $8 million a year between ads and sponsored content.
I'm not exploiting my children, but would you please come subscribe to the Annie Frey YouTube channel? YouTube live broadcast or something. See, I'm so bad at this. I'm a radio influencer. I'll be right back.
I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. If you need a basement repair on your foundation, if it's water leaking into your basement, if you've walled off a certain portion of your basement because that's where the water is and you can't store anything there, if you've had to raise stuff up because the water seeps in, stop it. Get it fixed once and for all. Your foundation is degrading underneath your home. That's a problem. You need somebody who can fix it and fix it right the first time. And that's Home Shield Foundation Repairs, and that's Matt Hayes. Call him at 314-271-9900. 314-271-9900. You're going to find Matt Hayes and Home Shield Foundation Repair to be incredibly fair and incredibly good at what they do. Coming into your basement, looking at what you're dealing with, giving you the information you need to know how he's going to fix it, and then delivering on that commitment, that waterproofed basement coming with a lifetime warranty. You need Home Shield Foundation Repair. Call 314-271-9900. Visit them online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A woman accusing Eric Swalwell of rape says she'll file a police report today over a 2018 incident. A delay, she says, was driven by fear, not doubt.
I have never doubted what happened. I stand with the other women who have come forward.
Lana Drews says she had an interest in local politics, considered the congressman a friend, and that they attended a few public events together.
On the third occasion, I believe he drugged my drink. I only had one glass of wine.
She says after telling her he needed to stop in his hotel room for paperwork, Swalwell raped her and choked her and that she lost consciousness. The California Democrat has apologized for mistakes in judgment, but has called allegations from several women false, announcing yesterday he would resign from Congress after suspending his run for California governor. Swalwell is one of several members of Congress facing ethics probes and possible expulsion votes. Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez is also stepping down after admitting he had an affair with a staffer who died by suicide last year. A possible deal remains on the table for Iran after no agreement was reached by a U.S. team in Pakistan last weekend.
They've laid out a very basic framework for Iran to behave as a normal nation.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, telling Fox,
Number one, stop supporting terrorist proxies. Number two, you cannot have a nuclear program, as not only President Trump has said, as the United Nations has said in resolution after resolution for decades. That's both enrichment and highly enriched uranium.
For now, he says the president has flipped the script on Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz with a blockade of Iranian ports. Secretary of State Rubio hosting talks in Washington between Israel and Lebanon, where Israeli forces have been fighting Iran-backed Hezbollah. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a partly sunny, windy, and warm afternoon around town. I think we'll top out at about 89 degrees. Just a slight chance of a pop-up thunderstorm. Again, 89. Tonight, cloudy skies, windy, some scattered showers, though not widespread, 68. Still unsettled skies, but no all-day rain or storms Wednesday. And again on Thursday, cooler for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get your AC ready for summer while helping shelter pets. Book your AC clean and check in April, and Air Comfort Service will donate a bag of pet food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary. AirComfortService.com/pet food.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
President, are another round of talks planned with Iran? And if so, will you send Vice President J.D. Vance with?
Well, he's done a good job, but Steve and Jared, they've all done a very good job. And I can tell you that we've been called by the other side. They'd like to make a deal very badly, very badly.
So President Trump speaking yesterday outside the White House about the potential for future talks with Iran. Trump is now signaling that new Iran talks are potentially imminent. They have said as early as Thursday of this week. So we will watch and we will wait and we will see what happens next. Let's get to our guest, our favorite, Jim Talent, former United States Senator from Missouri and former Congressman as well. Thank you so much, Senator, for being with us today to talk about this issue. It seems like it's ever evolving. We appreciate your voice on it.
Thank you, Annie. Did you really say I'm your favorite?
Yes.
I feel greatly complimented.
That Missouri Senate seat, man, it's been a very, very kind one to the people of Missouri and your neighbors on the Illinois side. We're grateful for you. What are your thoughts about President Trump's delegation he sent over to Pakistan? J.D. Vance comes back and says, nope, no deal. And then now it looks like maybe potentially talks taking place later this week even.
Yeah, well, I think, look, we had destroyed their center of gravity regarding military power, their capacity to generate and sustain military power, and specifically the missiles, the drones, what was left of the nuclear program, although evidently the president is concerned they have some enriched uranium somewhere. And so I think the president was checking in to see if their intentions had changed, to see, in essence, if that had broken their will. And the thing that would have signified it had was turning over the uranium. And evidently they made some offers. They tried to get us to accept, like, okay, we'll de-enrich a lot of it. We'll, do A, B, and C. But no, I mean, that was our goal, was they would have to end the program and prove to us they had ended the program. And they weren't in a very strong bargaining position. So it broke up, and now the president is going after their economic power. And I'll just add, Annie, I mean, he's being more merciful than I probably would be, because I might just have gone ahead and blown up their transportation and electricity infrastructure. But he's not doing that. He's just blockading the oil, which is where they get the vast proportion of their revenue. So I'm not surprised they want talks again.
Can you simplify for me what's going on in the Strait of Hormuz, what Iran was doing? It seems like it's their biggest flex point, the biggest way that they can impact everybody else in the world with their control over the Strait of Hormuz. Can you talk about what Iran was doing and what Trump countered?
Yeah, sure. Well, again, they went to that alternative because we had destroyed their other means of deterring attacks on the regime through punishment. It's a strategy called deterrence by punishment. So they had all these missiles, they had the drones, they had the proxies, and so countries were afraid to attack them because they could retaliate in these ways. Well, then that was eliminated. So now they turn to their last weapon, which is to close the strait, hoping to inflict enough pain that everybody would have to back off and give them what they wanted. And, the problem is there's a lot of problems with doing that. One of them is it didn't do that. It's not the result of it isn't pleasant. but it's temporary and we can deal with it. And also it's a wasting asset for them because now you're seeing all the activity among the oil-producing countries to find means to get oil to market other than going through the strait. So you see, this is the kind of, you use a tool like this and then you lose it. And so now what is happening in the strait? From what I can tell, we have blocked all ships coming out of the Iranian ports. I think that's pretty clear because CENTCOM has said that. There isn't any ship coming out of Iranian ports that is being permitted to pass. I have read reports that a number of other merchant ships are going through the strait. I don't want to say for certain that's true, but I would be surprised if the strait does not gradually open up over time because I think they know this gambit has failed. And it's also, of course, as long as we are closing the strait to their exports, it's really hurting countries that they cannot ignore, like China.
So I want to know about the geopolitical elements here involved with the strait. My understanding, which is very limited, Senator, about the Strait of Hormuz is it doesn't really control our access to oil because Trump is a drill baby drill president. So right. the energy that we have is ours to use. And President Trump continues, what I hear, say, if you need oil, come get it from us. We'd love to sell you some oil. Yeah. If our interests in the Strait of Hormuz aren't because we require access to that oil, who does rely on the Strait of Hormuz for their energy production? And what are they doing to help get this issue cleared up?
Yeah, mostly Asia, including China, the Europeans to some degree. So the reason it affects us is because the market for oil is global. So if supply in some other part of the world is cut off, the law of supply and demand means that the price goes up. Now, if we were a closed market, I'll see if I can pronounce it, an autarkic market.
Sounds good enough for me.
we were not interacting with the rest of the world, then it probably would not affect us at all. But then again, we wouldn't be selling oil, et cetera. So, the president has said, we're producing a lot, come to us. And as I said, this is going to change purchasing and export patterns around the world, both because that's substantially a matter of habit, but also because this has created a sense of insecurity about the strait. So if you're in the oil business, you don't want insecurity. Well, if you buy it from the United States, it's secure. The sea lanes are secure. There's a lot of reasons, actually, to buy from us. So intermediate term, that's why this was a mistake for the Iranians. Now, if eventually, I think we are already beginning to undertake action to clear the strait. At some point, I think that will happen, and I suspect there will be participation by Asian countries. But right now, I understand it. They don't want their warships to go into a war zone. Of course, if they're warships, you think they wouldn't mind that. They're probably hoping we'll do it on our own. And I'll add, Annie, that this is exposing something that has become increasingly clear in the last few years, which is that we have been acting, in effect, as a risk manager for other countries around the world, even though the risk to us was much less. And the Trump administration has had enough. And I don't blame them. I'll tell you, there are many people in the national security community, and have been and am very involved with them, who are reevaluating their sense of alliances, particularly NATO. I'm talking about old Reagan Republicans who are starting to see, you know what, maybe Trump and Vance and Rubio have a point with all of this.
Senator Jim Talent speaking with us. I heard President say, it seemed like it was brief, but he said President Xi wants to see the Strait of Hormuz opened and this to end as well. And it was just kind of a little drop in a press conference that implied that Trump and Xi of China are working things out in order to get to the end of this where they might agree on the solution and that they're on the same side. I don't know if I believe that entirely. What is President Trump doing and talking? I know they're supposed to meet in the next coming months, I guess. What is he trying to...
I don't know that President Trump believes that entirely either.
Yeah.
I think
is he putting him on the spot?
He's playing Xi a little bit. look, my read, and I think this is a consensus read, is that for the rest of the year anyway, both China and the United States want a lull in tension between the two countries. You know, we fought this mini trade war last year where we jacked up tariffs on them, and then they constricted the supply of rare earths, over which they have, unfortunately, almost absolute control, at least over the processing of it. And I think both sides said, you know, we don't really want that to happen in the near future. So I think there's going to be a lull in tension, but I think both countries understand. In fact, there's no question. Trump and Xi, and indeed everybody in the national security establishments in both countries understand that this competition, this sort of cold conflict between the United States and China is going to go on for some time, because they have ambitions for the region in particular and the world in general that are diametrically contradictory to our national security and our national security interests.
Senator Talent speaking with us right now. I am curious about your thoughts, your predictions maybe on the short-term pains that Americans are experiencing right now. The gas price is no joke. And, I know that when President Biden was in office and gas prices were around where they are right now, we were not seeing people, shaking fists at the sky about how high gas prices were. President Trump brought them down. Now they're back up again. Is this a short-term pains, long-term gains opportunity for the United States? Do you think that we'll be economically better off at the other side of this, or is your hope that we just get back to where we were?
I feel very strongly we're going to be better off for a whole host of reasons. One of them is reducing very substantially the risk level in the Middle East for years to come, and therefore reducing our burdens there. I think it is going to be very good for our energy market. I think it's going to be very good for other important goals for the United States, like, for example, you're seeing Hezbollah I don't know if it'll be destroyed, but very substantially degraded now, and Hezbollah is very active in the drug traffic. There's all kinds of ways the American people are going to benefit. Now, if you're asking me the political impact of this, I mean, I will speculate on that. It's almost unavoidable, but the real answer over the years is that the American people, when it comes time for an election, are going to judge whether their interests have been well served. And I'm not being naive or just saying this to flatter the people when I say over the years they have a lot of good common sense, and I've always understood the judgment they've made, even when they didn't vote for me. I mean, I got the reasons why. So I'm not. But of course, one of the problems is, and so many people in Washington are unable and unwilling to see any of these issues through anything other than a political lens, and this is true on both sides. And so you got one side trying to use it for political purposes, the other side nervous about it. I honestly don't. This is not about politics. This is about eliminating a first-order threat to the United States. I mean, I will tell you, China is the greater danger in the long term, but the thing that worried me the most for years and years and years was Iran getting a nuclear weapon. If they get one and the means to deliver it, AEI did war game this. That's a think tank in Washington years ago. When I was with them, the chance that you're going to get a nuclear competition in the Middle East and a launch goes way, way up. And that is something, it's worth almost anything to prevent that, much less a short war where we suffer only a handful of casualties. I mean, one casualty is too many to deal with the problem. So I've fully supported this from the beginning. I'm willing to give the president a lot of running room in terms of his tactics, because I think the strategy is exactly the right one.
Senator Talent, if I'm thinking about this, the American people always have the opportunity to change the strategy that's implemented in every single area of government, because we have many elections. So if you don't like it, you can change it. And I want to know from you, in your estimation, if I guess 2028 is a little bit far away, but of course, if the Congress, the midterms were to go in a blue wave, which very well could happen in the middle of his second term, what is the Democrat policy alternative to what President Trump is doing? Because the majority of what we hear from Democrats is like, if Trump did it, we hate it. And that's just the end of it.
It's undeniable that basically is their policy. And I think it shows a lack of substance that they keep accusing him of like being an autocrat. There's a no kings kind of thing, which is ridiculous. Now, there has been a growth in presidential power relative to the Congress, which goes back several decades. It was true at least until Obama. And I think I've said to you, I don't really blame the presidents for this. I blame the Congress innervating itself, weakening itself, unwilling to exercise its authority to pass laws and pass appropriations bills. We're seeing this right now. And now I'm going to start ranting. The whole Congressional, the whole constitutional setup assumes that the branches will check each other. So when you get one branch that is weakening itself, the other branches will aggregate more power, not just the executive, but the courts. So Trump is not what they claim he is, but they can't really look. His policies are to close the border, deport people who are here illegally, produce energy, stop crime, and go after America's adversaries. Those are not extreme policies. It's very similar to the policies of the Clinton administration, and I was there for that.
Yeah.
So what they do is, he's a terrible human being. Well, he says things that he should not say, and we could go into that. They didn't. I do agree that this whole effort could have been explained better, although they did explain it, and they are explaining it now all the time. So now I'm going on to you. I should let you get a word in.
No.
It's your show, but I mean, it's,
you are my guest, and we are grateful for it. And I think what you're saying there too is the difference between good policy and good politics. Because for me, what the Democrats are consistently doing is it's easy to be anti-war politically when you're in the minority and just say, no war bad. And sometimes, if I listen to what President Trump is doing, he's trying to end a war that he says is a 47-year war. And you're talking about decades of the same threat existing and everybody understanding it and knowing it. And President Trump has the guts to go and say, well, let's do something to end it once and for all.
That's right. The other presidents kicked the can down the road is what they did.
Yeah.
Because the threat was not so imminent and so great that you absolutely couldn't ignore it. But I really think it's the essence of statesmanship to accurately estimate and recognize, in foreign policy I'm talking about, the threats to the country and to move effectively to diffuse them or eliminate them before they get to the level where stopping them requires some enormous sacrifice or some enormous risk. And we had a window to do it. Rubio's talked very eloquently about that. And Trump took the window. And I think he was... if you're not prepared to make decisions like that, you don't belong in his job. I mean, you just don't. And he's seeing it through. So I have a fair level of confidence. And by the way, I mean, you're right about people playing politics with war. Democrats were not out attacking Obama when he conducted a 7-month bombing campaign in Libya. I mean, I don't recall a whole lot of complaints. There were a few on their side, but not many.
Last question real quick before we let you go. We're speaking with Senator Jim Talent. When you look at President Trump, of course, at the head of it, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President J.D. Vance among the advisors, is this a good team leading this effort?
Yeah, I think so. I thought at the beginning of the administration that it was a strong foreign policy team. I think, and I also think it's a lot more united team than people believe. That's in part because I don't want people to think I'm bragging. I've actually read the National Security Strategy. That's an official document put out to guide all the national security agencies regarding the president's priorities. It is staffed up through what they call the interagency process, so everybody gets a shot at it. The people, the factions that people say are restrainers or isolationists or more hawks, and they all got a shot at this. They all signed off on it. And it's basically, if you read it, you can see why we're doing what we're doing, not just in the Middle East, but in Venezuela, in Cuba, in Asia. There is a real policy that's being consistently followed. And I think it's a good team. It's united. But look, we talked about the people before. They're going to judge by results, and they're entitled to.
Yes.
I think this is going to work. I think it is working. I think we're already a lot safer than we were 6 weeks ago. but they've got to finish it out. And we're at the point now of some tactical maneuvering, less combat, and more using the tools of naval power here to punish them economically to see if we can't end this threat once and for all.
Senator Talent, thank you for the time today. We love hearing from you. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Okay, Annie, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Senator Jim Talent, former United States Senator from Missouri, also former Congressman, chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council. We're going to take a break here. We're going to have a quick segment, and then we're going to speak with Senator Eric Schmitt. Big show today. We're so glad that you're here. You are our favorite guest, and we invite you to join us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, and stream us anywhere you go anytime. If you want to make sure that 97.1 is with you in crystal clear connection wherever you go, the Odyssey app is the way to do it. AUDACY. You can follow 97.1 FM Talk. You can follow the Annie Frey Show. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. That's the 314-324-4440 phone number for you. You can text it as well, 314-324-4440. When you contact Stewie about a bagel loan, he's going to tell you in as much detail, and I'm telling you in as much detail as you would like, how the bagel loan works. I'm going to sum up for you right now and explain that it's a new mortgage, a mortgage refinance, or a cash-out mortgage refinance. $0 in closing costs. You're in a position to go refinance your home or to purchase a new home and do it without those thousands of dollars at the end of the process where you just have to pay to go through that process. No closing costs, no closing fees, not with a bagel loan from Stewart's American Mortgage. So if you're looking to purchase a new home, if it's been recommended to you that you should use a certain lender, they're might be great people, might do great business. Make sure you get a second opinion with Stewie. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Here's something I run into a lot with younger homeowners, and happened to be with my little boy. He was looking at purchasing homes. This house had a 20-plus-year-old furnace and air conditioner. And, of course, my advice was never buy a house with that old of an air conditioner. You will be buying a new one. And he goes, well, how much does a new one cost? For his size home, total figure tens of thousands to over $20,000. If you're looking at a house, my personal opinion is make sure it's a newer unit. If not, request buyers to put in a newer unit. That makes it easier on your 15 or 30-year mortgage if it's included in the loan. Just my piece of advice for that. But if you're hearing this after the fact and you do need a new air conditioner, sorry to hear that, but call me, Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers. It is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis Conservative.
I almost just called you Charlie. I'm texting with Charlie. But you're not Charlie, you're Ryan.
I'm Ryan. I'm my own man. I'm not Charlie.
You sound like the barf saying I'm half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. YouTube poll for today: should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to ethics violations? Should it matter, yes or no?
Should it matter? No, it shouldn't matter.
All right, would you, Ryan, would you be willing to lose the majority in the House because we kicked out 4 Republicans and 1 Democrat and it gave them a 1-seat majority?
No. I would not.
So
I'm really torn because...
So political parties should matter.
On one level, I'm like, no, that absolutely should not matter. And then it gets practical and I go, no, I wouldn't want that. So it would really depend on the allegations, of course. If they were clear cut, I'm not sure how you could argue that they shouldn't be kicked out. But they're never clear cut. It's always,
As Chad Pergram said in the
more to
first
it.
hour, 6 expulsions in 250 years.
Wow.
6! That doesn't factor in, as we mentioned, the difference between an expulsion, which is someone's like, make me. You want me to go? You're going to have to make me. And then 6 times they were like, okay. George Santos being one of them, which was a campaign finance situation.
Yeah, most of the time it ends up like a Nixon situation where they're going to do it and he just resigns.
It's pretty wild. We're going to take a break. That was super fast. I'm sorry. But we need to take a break so we can talk to Senator Eric Schmitt. The U.S. Senator from Missouri is going to be with us in just a minute. I'm going to ask him about this, but we've got a lot to talk about. The Save America Act. Where the heck is that? Is that done yet? Is it even going to happen? And also a few other things that are top of mind. So let's stick around here. Senator Eric Schmitt will be with us next. Don't go away.
We encourage you to participate in the YouTube live chat poll today by either texting us at 314-241-9797 or by voting on YouTube and leaving a comment there. It is 1:30. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
$98 AC tune-up.
From Alton to Wildwood, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's great to be back from vacation. Super busy last 5 days while I was not in the state and trying to keep up with all the news. And here I see this mass amnesty bill that is being floated out there, discussions about maybe there are some people who we should, create situations for that they can stay and everything. That's not really the America First campaign message that was sent by President Trump. It hasn't been his policy. Why are there bipartisan efforts right now to make that the case? Let's talk to Senator Eric Schmitt, who joins us once again. Of course, the United States Senator representing Missouri, joining us here on the Annie Frey Show. Senator, thanks for being with us today. It's good to have you back on the show.
Good to be back with you, Annie.
Talk to me about this mass amnesty bill. Like, what is it? Almost seems like the heart on your sleeve compassion, the way it's being put forward. But at the same time, like, where do we draw the line and how do you do something like that and still prioritize the Americans that are in this country that are in need of the taxpayer funds that be taking out of their pockets? How do you do both?
Well, we're not doing that bill. I don't know what else to say. I think a few people have filed it and they're talking about it, but I just don't think there's any appetite to deal with this after we just suffered, 4 years of mass migration in this country, 15 to 20 million people here illegally. We got enough work with deporting people who shouldn't be here. And I think that's what our focus ought to be. Border security, and keeping this country safe. I mean, we see over and over and over and over every day a news story about an illegal immigrant murdering or raping or terrorizing a community, and that's where our focus should be. And so I'm not going to get into what's in the heart of people who are proposing this. I don't know. I've not talked to them about it. This is a kind of a House thing where there's a handful of people that have filed this. People are talking about it, and that's fine. But I can just tell you there's just no appetite right now to go in that direction.
You mentioned about keeping people safe, and it's very popular. It's a very bipartisanly popular policy to say if you came here illegally, you should go home. And the United States has been actually, I think, pretty generous in saying, hey, if you want to self-deport, we'll kind of set you up. There are some opportunities for people to do that and come back once again. You've talked about something going on in Missouri, cooperation that can exist between state and local law enforcement to help deport these people in safer parameters that in my home state of Illinois doesn't exist because we're a sanctuary state and all of that nonsense. How do you see that manifesting here in Missouri? It needs to be replicated across the country.
I mean, so basically the policy of the United States of America forever has been if you're here illegally, you're deported unless you have a valid asylum claim. Many of those are often bogus. 9 out of 10 of them are bogus. And so, unless you're coming here legally, there is a path to do that. But what we've seen is, again, all of this flood of illegal immigration over the last, 4 years of Joe Biden. And so what a non-sanctuary jurisdiction like the state of Missouri does, there's no city that's thankfully no sanctuary jurisdiction in the state. So when someone's being released from prison, local authorities, and they have and they're here illegally, they notify ICE so that when they're released, when they literally walk out of the prison, they're handed over safely and orderly to an ICE agent, and then that deportation process then moves forward. The dirty little secret about what happens in sanctuary jurisdictions like J.B. Pritzker's Illinois or what was going on in Minneapolis is this is the most obvious thing that happens. Think about it. A rapist, somebody that is carjacked, and they're an illegal alien. Those sanctuary jurisdictions will not notify ICE when they're leaving prison, meaning they're just released out into the communities and out onto the streets. That's how crazy this ideology is. They would rather not deport people than have these people, back out onto the streets. So it's, I think that's what people probably don't even know. And here's the difference too, Annie, is that takes a couple of ICE agents to go there and meet up and be there when they're released, as opposed to having to go into a neighborhood or into a community where you need more protection, more people. So it saves resources. It's a safer thing to do to just be able to notify people when they're coming out of prison.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And as a resident of Illinois, sure doesn't make me feel safer to be living in a state where people who want to commit crimes know that they're going to have a better chance of getting free after they get, bounced for something that they did, that they're not going to be deported because they came to my state instead of your state. That's very frustrating as an Illinois resident. Yep. I want to talk about the Save America Act. Certainly Senator Mike Lee is all over X about this. It's what he tweets about all the time. And I keep watching and it keeps not happening. Is the Save America Act ever going to get passed?
I hope so. It will take a tremendous amount of time and effort to get it done. I'm on board with it. I have been since day one as an original co-sponsor, and then I worked with President Trump. He talked to me about handling the provision that not only would we include in the Save America Act the you have to be a U.S. citizen and have show photo ID, but making sure we're getting rid of these mail-in balloting scams, make sure there's no men and women's sports, and that we end this transgender mutilation for minors. So those are 5 overwhelmingly popular things in essentially the substitute that's before the Senate. The Democrats have blocked it. We would have to spend a lot of time to go do it. I support it, doing that, but there has to be an allocation of time to do it. And I would tell you the other thing that's I just got out of our Senate lunch and the topic of discussion, we're going to make sure that we fully fund Border Patrol and ICE. The Democrats had blocked that. We can move forward with reconciliation. I would expect that process to begin in the next few days here, with hopefully something on the floor next week. It'll take a few weeks to go back and forth with the House, but we're just not going to let the Democrats get away with blockading that money for deportations that in many ways a lot of the 24 election was based on this. And the Democrats, a few years ago they wanted to fund the police. Now they wanted to fund ICE. This is just a same movie, different year.
Yeah, 100%. Eric Schmitt, senator from the state of Missouri, speaking with us here on the Annie Frey Show. I want to ask you your thoughts, wide open question on the replacing of Attorney General Pam Bondi with the acting Attorney General Blanche being in there. Seems like a lot of people are supportive of him. He's not as big of a political name as maybe Bondi was or some other people. A lot of people like your name for the job. What do you think about the president's willingness to replace Pam Bondi? What direction is he hoping to see the Justice Department go?
Well, I know Todd. I like Todd Blanche. He was sort of in the foxhole with the president in a lot of those when the Democrats were trying to put him in jail for the rest of his life. I went up there for one of those days of that trial. There were, I think, just a few senators that did that. I thought that was important to support President Trump at a really difficult time. And Todd's a very skilled, successful lawyer that left a successful private practice and has been the deputy attorney general, which basically it kind of like the COO of that office, like the AG's out front doing a lot of things in a very important position, but the deputy AG is a very, very important role. And so I think they're valuing that kind of continuity right now. And, the president always has the ability to go in a different direction. And so for right now, Todd Blanche is there. I think he's got broad support, and they have a lot of work to do. They still have a lot of work to do. You've probably read, it's public information. There's some activity in pursuing some of the, I think, a lot of the activity that Brennan and Clapper and Comey were involved with to take down a president. I just don't think you can let that stuff slide. I think there have to be repercussions and accountability. And I think that'll be a focus of the Department of Justice, basically to hold the people accountable that weaponized the DOJ for 4 years, that went after Catholics, that went after, the former president and chief political opponent. All these things that we saw, we can't ever let that happen again. And so I think having somebody in that role that's serious about it is important.
There are a few things that those who voted for President Trump or that have seen some of the things that have come to light, the evidence that has been shown about what was done to President Trump in a deep state-like government. There are a few things that Americans want more than to actually know that the government bureaucracy can be held accountable.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible that the government, the deep state, can actually be held accountable?
I hope so. I believe that it has to happen. I know that, in my time when I was Attorney General of Missouri, we had a laser-like focus on this of taking on the excesses of government, whether it was people's free speech rights or the COVID tyranny that we saw, or just the manipulation we saw with the student debt forgiveness scam. And I think that what the Democrats were willing to do with the power that they had in that period of time, including and especially going after their chief political rival, is something out of a banana republic or the Soviet Union in the 1980s. And so I sure hope that people will be held accountable for that.
Senator Schmitt, before we let you go, big news, allegations made in Southern California from a fifth accuser, from Representative Eric Swalwell, which my understanding is maybe he's resigned. I know it was going to potentially happen this afternoon. We also know of a Republican Gonzales representative who has stepped down amid, an affair and an unfortunate suicide that took place after that. I think a lot of people on the outside are looking into the swamp going, what kind of ethical standards exist there? You're there. I know you come home like every weekend to be with your family. Looking from the outside in, it just looks really, really messy. And I'm wondering what you think about how party affects the accountability that needs to be had for the people who represent us.
Yeah, no, I can understand that sentiment. You look at some of this activity and it's like dirtball behavior. So, I certainly appreciate how people feel about it. I didn't really know either one of those guys on the House side. Swalwell really seems like a bad actor. He was on the Congressional baseball team as like a pinch runner, and I think he tripped over second base one time. That's really the extent to which I know Eric Swalwell. You see all this stuff coming out. It looks pretty bad, and so I think people should expect that their representatives are people that they would trust, and I certainly try to live up to that every day that I hear and honor the trust that the voters have given me to come here to do a good job, and I do. You're like you said, I go back and forth every week, and the hardest part about the job for me is that you're away from your family during the week, so that's just kind of how I try to live my life.
Is it hard? I had a longer form conversation with you about this when I visited DC about a year ago about like how do you stay grounded, because there, it's just such a powerful place. And once you go there, you're leaving everything that keeps you grounded and the accountability of like being around people who know you in your air quotes real life.
Right.
How I mean, I guess we know how you stay grounded. Is it uncommon for people to stay grounded, or is it more common than we might hear because it's not in the headlines?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of good people here. But then there's, like I said, with any kind of walk of life, there's just some scumbags too. And, so I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how people do it. I mean, I don't, it's crazy. So I just try to do a good job. I would say that I think I shared with you in that interview we did in my office that I think my son has had that kind of impact on me over the years with his diagnosis and special needs and being nonverbal and the seizures. And I just try not to take things for granted. And this is all a gift. And I just want to try to maximize my time that I have doing this job. And I also think that people can kind of get big egos. And I'm often reminded of Patton kind of laid out. If you watch the end of the movie Patton, he gives this famous kind of story about this Roman generals, rolling through and he's this parade and all the animals and armaments that they've captured, and he's being celebrated, and a slave whispers into his ear that all glory is fleeting. So, this is a temporary job that I have, and I try to approach it with that kind of humility. And for me, that works. Again, I can't speak to what other people do or they don't do.
Senator Schmitt, thank you for the time today. We appreciate it. We hope you have great fortune with the Save America Act. Keep pushing on it and keep holding people accountable there in D.C. We're grateful for it.
Thanks, Annie. Okay.
Bye-bye. Senator Eric Schmitt, now I'm going to message him privately and see if he could tell me which year Eric Swalwell tripped over second base, because I'd like to see that on video. That's got to be on C-SPAN somewhere, right? Not the worst thing that Swalwell has ever done. I think he was a pinch runner in the Congressional baseball game. Well, that's rich. All right. Gosh, I love that guy. Senator Eric Schmitt, not Swalwell. If you missed the full interview, we'll have it up on the Annie Frey Show podcast, which you can access on the Odyssey app. AUDACY, download the app, subscribe to the Annie Frey Show. The podcasts are there, or, of course, wherever you get your podcasts from. Let's get Ryan back in here in just a minute. Should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to the ethics violations that we continue to hear about? Yes or no? Go vote. We'll be right back. Point Pest Control, spell point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com, 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023. Point Pest Control can get rid of your pests. It can make sure that the termites that you've noticed, even if you see evidence of it, could be old termites. I know that if you've, at an old house that we lived in, we found evidence of termites in a garage that was unattached, and it was not a happy day. You're just immediately, all you're doing is like, okay, I guess I don't have any money anymore. But you got to make sure that when you go treat those termites, that you're certainly going to get rid of those termites wherever they might be. Point Pest Control, they are going to be affordable, they are going to be efficient, and they are reliable. I subscribe to the Premier Service Plan. They come out to my house quarterly, and I don't have bugs in my house. I don't have pests in my house, not at least the bug kind. My kids can be kind of pesty sometimes. 636-798-0023. That's the number to call. And if you throw my name out there, mention Annie, you're going to save 10% on the top of whatever special they have going on right now. Reach out to Point Pest Control. Tell them Annie sent you, and get rid of your pest problem once and for all. 636-798-0023. Point with an E. Pointpestcontrol.com.
97.1 FM Talk, proud to partner with Missouri Right to Life.
This is Steve Rupp, president of Missouri Right to Life. Join us at our Make Missouri Pro-Life Again banquet with keynote Riley Gaines on May 20th in St. Charles. Go to the Missouri Right to Life website for details.
If you're the victim of a car accident or suffered a work injury in St. Louis, you want attorneys who live here and work here to handle your case. You want someone who knows St. Louis and is about St. Louis. You want Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-777-7777.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Heidi Ricken Provost of Ricken Financial understands the importance of financial stability in your retirement plans.
If there's something we can do to help benefit your financial future and provide more strength and stability in your retirement plan, that's exactly what we do here. And we do so on a complimentary basis.
Call today, 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Triton Exteriors, St. Louis Roofing, Siding, and Gutter Systems. We'll take care of you and your home. We're #1 in the Ladue, Kirkwood, and Webster area. James Hardy certified. Visit triton.stl.com to be connected with a James Hardy expert and receive a free estimate. Triton-stl.com or call 314-717-1159. That's 314-717-1159. Triton Exteriors, St. Louis #1 James Hardy specialists.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Has anybody found the video of Swalwell tripping over second base as a pinch runner in the Congressional baseball game yet?
Hang on, Sloopy. I'll look it up.
Man, if that hasn't happened yet, the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel needs to be the first one to clip that and make that famous.
I'm looking it up.
I'm just going to put it on loop. I hope Schmitt was being serious about it because I'm going to spend a lot of time looking for Eric Swalwell being a pinch runner in a Congressional baseball game.
Apparently, he was a rookie in 2013. I found that. Eric Swalwell in 2013. It says this. This is a press release from his campaign. Listen to this.
This is him as a rookie.
This is him as a rookie in 2013. U.S. Representative Eric Swalwell, California 15, last night put his heart and reputation on the line to play for the Democrats in the annual Congressional baseball game for charity.
Please tell me it talks about him tripping.
Well, I think this is before that trip, is my guess, because it was before.
He put his heart on the line?
He put his heart and reputation on the line.
Well, his reputation is not too hot right now.
Well, and he was a rookie, so they go into the history of the Congressional baseball game dating back to 1909. And it says that, I guess at this point, I don't think the Democrats have fared this well since then. In 2013, Democrats shut out the Republicans with a victory of 22-0.
Yeah, I just grokked it, and that is, in fact, accurate.
Wow. And they had won 5 straight at that time.
It's before Eric Schmitt was there.
And Mark Teixeira.
Yeah. I want tickets to this game this year. Did it really happen? Did it happen? It just happened recently?
The baseball game?
Well, no, this says June 14th was the 2013 one, so maybe it's still going to take place.
Well, I think it's a summer. Yeah, it's a summer classic.
We should do a remote.
Oh, heck yeah, we should do that.
I'm so in for that.
Oh, this is the best because nobody covers it. I mean, there's people there that are just like part of the press pool.
I love how it's going to be C-SPAN and the Annie Frey Show from St. Louis, Missouri.
We have to do that.
Mark Teixeira's district should cover the heck out of that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And he should. How fast do you think he can throw?
Probably
Teixeira?
200 to 300 miles an hour.
Kilometers an hour.
Yeah, kilometers.
How fast can Mike Teixeira
throw a baseball?
You
think he's touching 85?
Oh, ever.
At least once.
Nowadays?
Well, it depends. How's he feel?
I don't know. We should call him. Get him on the phone, Brad.
Yeah, get him. Yes.
All right.
Often named Tex, and likely the person meant by Mike Teixeira.
Thanks, AI.
Thanks, Grok. As a position player, he would occasionally throw the ball across the diamond, but those throws are typically in the 70 to 85 mile an hour range for strong arm first basemen, not the 90 miles an hour you see among pitchers.
See? That's what I said. Is he touching 85?
The question is, what positions did he play in high school? All the good players were pitchers in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And then maybe, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't pitch every game. You pitch every fourth. It depends. It's hard to say how many games he would have pitched. I wonder how many games were in a high school season when he played high school baseball. But you can pitch every 5 days-ish. That might be every other game, depending on how the schedule works out, because obviously high school is not playing 162 games.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're playing. If you're one of the top pitchers, you're probably pitching, at least back in those days, pitching, center field, shortstop. That's probably about it. He's a rotation there.
Okay.
What positions you play in baseball?
Third base and shortstop. Although most recently, when I was doing softball for a little bit, they put me at first base. I was so mad because I was playing first base fine, but I had this brand new plastic piece of crap glove. And every ball that went in my glove was popping out. And there was just nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, there was. You could get a different glove.
Yeah, I could get a different glove next game.
ball.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it in that game.
Just use somebody else's glove.
They
I'm
were
sure
like,
they would.
Ryan, why don't we move you to the outfield? And
Did
I'm
you
like,
go play
yeah,
right
thank
field in
you.
your softball game?
I'm never coming back again.
Lefty gets up to bat, and you're like, hey, Ryan, move over to the left.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
It was bad because I'm not that fast
Little
either.
bit more.
I can't cover a lot of ground. That's
Over
why
to
I'm
the
usually
foul
an
line.
infielder.
We'll just play with two outfielders. How about that? What's the last time? What was the highest baseball that you played?
Little League.
What age?
Or beer league. I don't know which. Probably third grade. I don't think I played
You
after
played
that.
beer league baseball?
No,
I'm talking
softball.
about baseball.
Oh, baseball would have been third grade. That was it.
You played to third and stopped?
Yeah, I didn't play baseball for very long.
Why?
I just didn't really love the sport. I liked hockey better.
Did you play hockey?
Yeah, I played some hockey, and I played golf
Pro?
in high school. Yeah, I played pro golf and hockey. And I liked basketball better.
Once people tune into the YouTube and see you, they'll be like, oh.
Yeah. You can't tell, but I'm 6'9", and I played center for Duke.
69 inches.
Center for Duke.
Yeah.
You golfed through your senior year.
I did play high school golf.
And
we
you
went to
said-
state once.
You always say how great the golf team was, and you said it was the older kids, and you were
Yeah,
on.
we had
You
a
were
great-
on the team.
We had a great team my junior year because all the seniors were really good. Then they graduated.
What's your best golf score you've ever shot?
For 18, probably in the mid-70s, maybe high 70s.
What course?
Probably Arlington because we played there so much. I don't know. I wish I could remember it. We just played so much.
What's the best adult? Like, if you go golf right now,
Oh, I'm just trying to play bogey golf now.
you breaking 100?
Oh yeah, 100%. But if I can,
You breaking 90?
that's the question.
So your goal is to break 90.
Yeah, probably. Stay one over par in every hole, and I'm happy.
Bogey golf is fun golf.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's take a break. In the 2 o'clock hour here, we're going to get to some more discussion on the YouTube poll, plus X's and Y's. Don't go away.
$1,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
The Retirement Advisory Group is having our next event at the Doubletree in Chesterfield. I can't wait to be there and hopefully see you on April 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the Doubletree. If you are considering retirement, if it's near, if you're in your late 50s, your 60s, and you're thinking retirement is the next step, maybe you've even just retired and you want to make sure that you checked all the boxes, you need the Retirement Advisory Group. 314-993-9494 to reserve your spot. Bring a friend, bring friends, your spouse, of course, and make an evening of it. It starts at 6:30. It's going to last like 45 minutes. You can go to dinner afterwards or maybe before. But I'm going to get there at 6 o'clock. And from 6 to 6:30, I'm going to try to meet each and every one of you that come. So it'd be an honor and a pleasure for me to have that opportunity. But of course, the benefit of the evening is finding out from the Retirement Advisory Group the answers to those questions that you really want to know. When can I afford to retire? How much income will I have in retirement? Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494 for the 6:30 p.m. evening at the Doubletree in Chesterfield. RetirementKey.com.
Did you know replacing old vinyl windows with more vinyl windows might not be the best choice? Hi, it's Kim, and I'm here to tell you about Infinity from Marvin Windows, because these fiberglass windows, they're energy efficient, they're beautiful, and they're custom built to fit your home perfectly. The team at Lakeside Renovation and Design just makes the process so easy. I love the fact that they even offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. Look, if you're tired of drafts, high energy bills, or maybe hard to open windows, now is the time to upgrade. Visit windowsbylakeside.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call my friends at Zero Res. Mark Cox here. It's the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season. You know, your furnace, your AC efficiency, all of that matters. Your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air is going to suffer. Right now, you get a whole system air duct cleaning for just $5.99. Pay less for fresh. Call 314-474-2020 or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
Day 2 of a U.S. blockade. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Central Command says thousands of U.S. service members are part of the mission to stop ships from entering or leaving Iranian ports. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz telling Fox.
Iran doesn't get to choose the winners and losers on the global economy. The United States will do that until all ships are open.
He says President Trump has flipped the script after Iran's restrictions on the Strait of Hormuz. The president suggesting more talks with Iran are possible soon after no agreement was reached last weekend in Pakistan with Iran's nuclear program, a key sticking point. 3 cabinet secretaries on hand for the groundbreaking of a natural gas pipeline extension in New York City.
President Trump is about driving down costs for Americans and driving up job opportunities and wages for Americans. And he's passionate to do that through energy dominance.
U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright alongside the Interior Secretary and EPA chief, who argues protecting the environment doesn't have to mean destroying the economy. Environmental groups fought the project, but New York's Democratic governor ultimately green-lighted the permit process. The project expands a pipeline system that also serves parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. A day after announcing he will resign from Congress, California Democrat Eric Swalwell has a new accuser, joining several other women who accuse him of sexual misconduct.
My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties.
Ilana Drews says the congressman became a friend while she was a model living in Beverly Hills, and they attended a few public events together, accusing him of drugging her drink before one event and raping her in 2018. Swalwell has said he'll fight false allegations. Drews says she's filing a police report today. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
It's a partly sunny, windy, and warm afternoon around town. I think we'll top out at about 89 degrees. Just a slight chance of a pop-up thunderstorm. Again, 89. Tonight, cloudy skies, windy, some scattered showers, though not widespread, 68. Still unsettled skies, but no all-day rain or storms Wednesday. And again on Thursday, cooler for the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. And be ready for the first heat wave. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back. I'm back. Happy Tuesday. It's going to take me all week to remember that it's not the day earlier than it is. I felt like it was Monday until I was driving here, and I'm like, oh, we have X's and Y's today. If we have a my day is defined by the 2 p.m. segment that we do.
So Wednesday you're just flailing.
I don't know what to do. I panic. Yeah, absolutely.
Wednesdays are one day that we don't have anything.
Mondays don't.
And Monday also, and Friday.
Friday 2 p.m. is Friday 2 p.m.
Yeah.
That's its own breed. We've got X's and Y's coming up at 2:30, so we will explore the differences in boys and girls. And sooner or later, Ryan will understand it. So that's why we keep doing it. It's really just for you.
We got to keep going until I get it.
Yeah.
I said, you guys, this is going to be a few years.
He always has all these really deep questions like, what's dry shampoo?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm looking at my questions today.
Yeah?
Very good.
Some bangers?
Oh, yeah.
Bangers with a Z?
You know what we need? I'm holding one for when we have another girl in here. Like, we need Trisha or
What's Trisha doing
Hannah
today?
or somebody to come in here because I have one
She's
that I
never
need
busy.
to throw out to the girls.
Is
and
Trisha
get
even working
a
today?
ranking. No,
I know
doesn't
she
work.
just comes and sits here and just listens to the radio.
I know.
I'm surprised she even does that here.
What a life.
We'll find out shortly if she's listening.
Yes, we will. We will be off the air.
Yeah, she's got this big, huge switch. It's not like a light switch. It's like one of those big ones with a handle.
Yeah.
What do you like?
It's like a big Rosie the
It's
Riveter
the kind of switch
like,
that you throw. You got to throw the switch,
Yeah.
and she's reaching for that sucker right now.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, and then when she, anyway,
That's all she does here.
Yeah.
Just plays with that switch.
and if she's not listening right now, then even more proof of my point.
Mm-hmm.
What is she possibly working on? Can you see if Trisha can join us?
Yeah, I'll check with her.
And just say that it's on personal request from Ryan Wiggins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'll get us a
R-dub.
yes.
Yeah, she just has
Just
to
to answer questions.
Oh, there's a lot of activity going on around here. Maybe they're going to get her.
She can run the segment too if she likes.
Oh yeah, we're fine with that.
At pretty much any time.
As long as she's willing to answer my one question.
So I was gone Thursday, Friday, and Monday, taking a trip to Florida, a nice little break, a couple things going on that we had to attend to, and so that was lovely. And I traditionally don't, if I'm going on a vacation, I traditionally put my phone down and I say I'm not paying any attention to it. I did not do that this time, and it wasn't because I was nervous. I actually just was like very curious. I wanted to continue to stay plugged in to an extent, so spent time looking through X, and if we were at the hotel, I had Fox News on the majority of the time. And there was just a ton of news, and every time I turned the news, Artemis 2 splashing down, that was part of the deal on Thursday, I guess it was. So just a ton of news. What did you guys cover the most? I understand there were a lot of Eric Swalwell press conference dippings in.
That was yesterday.
Uh-huh. How did you cover all that news while I was gone?
Well, the Eric Swalwell stuff was just yesterday. We talked about Iran quite a bit on Thursday and Friday. Ryan Recker tends to want to talk about some cultural stuff too. So he loves talking about, aliens and different local news stories. We talked about, apparently I haven't seen this story. I need to look for it, but he brought up a story yesterday that was about a bunch of cars in St. Louis that had swastikas carved into them.
Is that from a while ago? From
I don't
in the
know.
Ladue area?
I don't know.
We talked about that a little bit, but that was a while ago. And then I think they set a car on fire.
If so, then maybe that's a little older news than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But some local stuff too, like that.
We talked in the first hour, maybe it's the first segment, about the Trump Dr. Jesus poster.
Oh, we did hit that. We talked about that a little bit yesterday.
So I gave my piece on it to sum up what I said in the first hour. Trump said that, first of all, Trump took the post down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump removed the post from Truth Social. He said that he thought it was him as a doctor and had something to do with the Red Cross. And when I see people working for the Red Cross, they're always dressed like Jesus. He essentially said he thought it was something else, but that he did take it down. I obviously, just like pretty much everybody else who's grown up around pictures of Jesus, saw it and thought, that looks like Jesus. What are you doing? I didn't lose sleep over it. I don't know if what I'm doing right now is the equivalent of this. Something like this happens, and everybody feels like they need to make a statement.
Yes, thank you.
Is that stupid? I feel like it's stupid. My statement is dumb post, and then I can move on from it. So my elevating it to give it airtime on your public airwaves is not so much about making sure that you understand that I'm on the record that I didn't like that post, because that's about me. I mean, that's so stupid. So people are out there, everybody's like, I'm seeing people of every level of politician, but also both sides of the aisle feel like they have to be seen to be on record.
Okay.
Do they?
No, but you also have a broadcast radio show that's about politics. You have to address something like that. It's in the news. What drives me crazy is when I have friends who, for whatever reason, don't get involved in politics a lot, but they will make statements about this. And some of them are conservatives. It's not just the liberals piling on. They want to make sure that everybody knows this is how I feel about this thing. And I don't know why that instinct is there.
This is the question. This is the distinction. Do you feel like you have to make a statement before someone asks you what your thoughts are on it? And I think the answer is no.
I don't think so.
If somebody brings up to you, hey, like I won't be surprised at all if I get a message from my very Democrat friend who's like, so Trump thinks he's Jesus now? And I'm like, my response would be like, that doesn't really feel like new information that he's willing to throw himself in the godlike territory, mostly just to tweak people like you. Now, is it wrong? I wouldn't do it, and I wish he wouldn't, but he doesn't answer to me in that regard. Yeah. So I think it's stupid. I wish he wouldn't do it, but what do you want me to do? Because I don't feel like there's some sort of air quotes on the record that I need to be that absolves me of his quote unquote sins.
Yeah, I think you just hit it. I think you just got it, which is that people go, oh, well, you like Trump, you must like this too.
Yeah, and in fact, I don't. And if you like me, you would understand that there's context and nuance here. If you don't like me, then I don't care what you think about me. Pound sand.
So everybody in the world who voted for Trump is expected to go on record and go, oh, I really don't like that tweet about Rob Reiner.
Listen, like exactly the left, the people on the left, when you listen to what some of these psychotic TDSers out there will say about who they would support over Donald Trump, you could research over and over and over again. Like, I'd vote for Hitler over Donald Trump, and they'd justify it. They don't feel the need to burden themselves with the stupidity and the sins. I guarantee you there are people who think Eric Swalwell shouldn't leave office because they won his vote in Congress. And they think he's trash, but they don't care. Donald Trump posts something stupid, again, on social media, and I'm supposed to be like, I'm sorry? Screw that. No, I'm not doing that. I don't think it was a smart post. It's not the first time he's posted something that I'm like, why are you doing that? But then I'm like, and what are we having for dinner? I don't feel like his sins are my sins, and I'm not giving you the energy and the ability to put his social media sins on me to defend. I don't have to. I'm not going to. He's still a great president.
Yesterday,
next question.
Wrecker brought up the question that, well, what if this was a party flip? If this is Democrats, does it matter? And the answer is...
If a Democrat posted a picture of them as a deity, it wouldn't be Jesus.
Ooh, good point. But he asked the question, what if Obama did something like this? And I just don't think you can compare.
There's a famous picture of Obama with the circle behind him on the podium where he has an angelic halo over, and they're like, see, he's godly.
Yeah, but I don't think he posted it, though.
No.
So the difference is, but also Obama and most presidents in general, most politicians, are much more calculated with their public image. We've now seen for over 10 years that Trump will just do stuff. So it's not just Republican, Democrat either. It's also that this guy in particular does this kind of stuff a lot.
I'd argue that he also gets a at minimum 24-hour news cycle out of people not criticizing him for gas prices and the fact that he hasn't solved the government shutdown yet and that the Iran conflict is still happening. You're talking about something stupid while they're actually getting work done.
Yeah.
Puppeteer. And I'm just like, I am unmoved by people who hate Donald Trump because he breathes oxygen, trying to put upon me some sort of responsibility to judge whether or not he's a flawless, perfect human or not. He isn't, but guess what? Neither am I. I don't need to defend if he's going to make these sort of decisions that aren't consequential in the political sense. Is it consequential in his own salvation sense? I don't know. I think it's strange that someone would look at that picture and not see Jesus. But I'm somebody who knows Jesus. And I'm somebody who is known by Jesus. So are you, by the way. And the fact that that is a foundational pillar in my life means that I see Jesus everywhere, especially in memes where people are in white robes with red sashes healing people. This is not hard. And for Donald Trump to be like, I saw a doctor, I do have concern about his reaction to this, but I'm going to pray that he gets to know Jesus the way I know Jesus, that he gets to know Jesus the way Jesus knows him. I want that for him. I also want him to keep being my president. I don't have any, I've said the same thing 6 times. I don't feel personally guilty because Donald Trump posted something stupid on social media. Folks, it's 2026. We've been here for a minute. It's going to happen again. Maybe still this week.
I still want him, despite the picture that he posted, to open the Strait of Hormuz and root out government corruption and end NGO abuse and balance the budget and use tariffs.
Stupid picture?
It didn't, I don't know. It's just...
You're kind of okay with it?
No, I don't like it, but it's the same as you. It's just another day in this crazy social media world.
Yeah. I thought it was me as a doctor. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to credit you with being a smart man. Don't make me into a stupid person. We'll be right back. Ethan, Sports and Local, next. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com, 314-271-9900. Easy number to call right there. And connect yourself with the best in the business when it comes to foundation repair. Matt Hayes, introduce yourself to Matt. Tell him Annie sent you and get on your way to having that foundation repaired once and for all. I think are we supposed to have storms coming in? I feel like I heard we were supposed to have storms coming in. Maybe rain. Ryan's one job is to know the weather, and he knows nothing over there.
It could rain.
You go to the weather center right now and report.
It's hot.
See, he knows. If you've got rain coming in and it's going to make its way into your basement, you've got big foundational problems. What you can see is going to be a portion of how big the problem is. Matt Hayes can dig deep into what your issue is and fix it once and for all. This is what you need. Something that comes with a lifetime warranty so you know the job is being done correctly. 314-271-9900. If you get that pit in your stomach when you see the forecast and you know rain is coming into the area and into your basement, you need Home Shield Foundation Repair. Online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. We are in the 6th hottest real estate market in the country, Stewie. What can buyers in St. Louis do to gain that advantage with you?
You know what, Mark? It's real simple. Number one, the Bagel loan. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. The Big Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Take that money you're saving, add it to the bid, beat all the other offers out. Number two, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. What does that mean? We pre-approve you for the maximum amount that you qualify for. You can then go into our portal and edit the letter and raise it or lower it to any amount you want up to the amount you pre-approved. No waiting for the loan officer, no waiting for anybody else. It's all in your hands. And the third thing, we can close in 10 days. That's a big deal. If you go to the seller and say, hey, here's my offer. It may not be the best, but we can close quick. Everybody else is 30 days out. You know it's going to happen quickly with our reputation. Big bam, boom, you got the house of your dreams.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel Loan. NMLS number 226715.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Check it out. Sports and local.
The raging rants of Ethan again.
Again, I'm back. Sponsored by All Financial, as always.
Hi,
here.
Ethan.
Welcome back, Annie Frey.
Are you caffeinated?
I am caffeinated, courtesy of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the scooters this morning.
You're welcome. Thanks.
What?
Yeah. He's my favorite.
What?
Obviously,
kidding me?
right?
This was a plan. You didn't get scooters this morning. You guys talked about this.
He absolutely had scooters
all for
this
me
morning.
to get a reaction.
No, I saw it too.
And
I was
still
like,
feel loved. It's
where
okay.
did you get scooters? He's like, Annie got it for me. I was like, oh, okay.
I don't believe you.
I did.
I asked.
He did ask me for it.
I forgot
I'm
coffee
asking for
this morning.
tomorrow.
And then I tried.
I take coffee very seriously.
Then I
You
tried.
need to be at your best, and if that means caffeine, let me do what I can do.
I tried to make some here at work
No,
with
not
the
worth
K cup with just one of like the random like.
Not worth a shot.
And I walked immediately over to Trisha's office after my first sip and went, this is horrible.
Let me text Danny. Yeah, I got you.
So then I did
Your
immediately
vanilla
text you.
cream cold brew or whatever
You
it was.
saved me. I appreciate that.
And you're still awake at 2:20. That's the whole
We're doing
reason.
something right, I guess. So, bittersweet night in St. Louis yesterday evening. The Blues game, the broadcast on FanDuel Sports Network was the final on the regional sports network here in St. Louis. So, Fox Sports Midwest, Bally Sports Midwest, FanDuel Sports Network, no more. All done. The final couple of games of the year for the Blues will be on ESPN Plus. And
The Ocho.
Nope, not that one. That's the best one though. That's probably your favorite ESPN
That
channel.
does
It's the only
exist,
one
doesn't
you
it?
watch, isn't it?
It's the only one he could compete on.
Yeah. The 28 years here in St. Louis that the RSN had a pretty darn good run and developed some of the most well-known broadcasters, certainly in St. Louis and some in the country. I mean, names like Dan McLaughlin, Darren Pang.
Gosh, I miss these days.
I do too.
There were so many good names here. I got the list here.
Hanger was fun.
Joe Buck, Bernie Federico, Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, Al Hrabosky, John Kelly, Tim McCarver, Joe Micheletti, Andy Strickland, Brad Thompson, Scott Warman, Ken Wilson. So many good names through the years. I mean, you remember the start of Blues and Cardinals broadcasts when they were on Fox Sports Midwest? Like
I loved it.
The
That's
music,
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet.
And a lot of good people that you mentioned there too.
Bittersweet. And at one point, 90% of people in the market had Fox Sports Midwest. They were paying for the Fox Sports Midwest subscription. So, I mean, there was a time when it was absolutely booming here. And there were times when this market for TV viewership was top 3, top 2.
Every time the World Baseball Classic is playing, that type of stuff, I think that the, whatever you call that hockey tournament and whatever, I don't know.
Four Nations.
Sure. I mean, St. Louis always performs really, really well in the ratings. Like, we watch this stuff.
Yeah.
Prices have gone through the absolute roof on everything. COVID, Joe Biden, and, gas is up right now, obviously, for particular reasons. But I was just kind of talking about this regarding a different issue where prices are super high. A lot of these prices are not going to come down, but these companies need to start meeting the price with the value that they offer. Increase the value. Give the people, the consumers, if you don't want to lower your price, you better increase the value. Otherwise, consumers are just going to have to start saying no. And I think in a large part, they are saying no to certain things, which is the way you get value back if the dollar doesn't come down.
In the last several years, it had switched from Fox Sports Midwest to Bally Sports Midwest when the rights to it were sold. And from that point on, it just was on its way down, losing a lot of money. COVID probably had a little bit of a part in that.
Also, the media industry is tough. I mean, we're in it. We know it. Certainly for something like that, a lot of that became subscription-based.
How much of viewership has changed in the way in which you take in anything in the past 7 years?
Even like for people who are listening to this radio station, if you're listening to KMOX, and I'm not really here to pump up KMOX, but when you listen to a Cardinals broadcast on KMOX, I mean, there are people who pay to be a part of that broadcast so that broadcast can exist, so you push a button and you get to hear it. It's the same thing for our show here on 97.1 and everything on the radio that is free for you to consume. You pay for Spotify. You pay for all of these other YouTube Music and Prime and stuff. They all cost things. You pay for it. When you listen to these radio stations specifically, you don't pay for it because we have sponsors who make our ability to be here and do a job and feed our family, make it possible. So, consider that when you're listening to our station. Yes, KMOX as well as a sister station to us. But, those sponsors that come on and make that button click free for you, if you like what we do, support those sponsors. If you want to be a part of that, forget about KMOX, just for us. Just kidding. Sort of. I can work a deal. I can work a deal with you. But, I mean, it just goes to show you, subscription mentality where you have to subscribe to everything right now, and subscriptions are all going up. This is not a sustainable model for sports viewing, and it's going to hurt the ball clubs and the hockey clubs and, all of that. It's going to hurt them in the long run.
There's no regulation on anything, and it's kind of we're in that in-between period, similar to NIL. There's no regulation on it yet, and we're in almost this, have at it, figure it out
Wild
kind
West.
of, yeah, exactly, Wild Wild West. And until they get some regulations on some of this stuff, it's probably going to continue to be like this, and it might get worse before it gets better. So, FanDuel Sports Network did have a final sign-off, a thank you to the fans. And I quote says, "Thank you to the hundreds of beloved crew members from St. Louis and across North America for being a part of Blues hockey for the last 28 years. Your friendship, dedication, and professionalism has made every one of the 1,963 Blues games a meaningful experience. It has been an honor to share this journey with each of you." So that was their sign off yesterday. Tonight is the final home game for the Blues in 2020 or for the 2025-26 season. Last night,
Are you hoping they win or lose?
At this point, they're already eliminated. I hope they lose. I hope that they lose. Doesn't have to be bad, but I hope that they lose. 6-3 final score against the Minnesota Wild yesterday. So ended up winning again. They now have the 8th highest odds at the number 1 pick. So I don't know what I did, but they went from having the 2nd highest odds, and then they started winning some games when I started hoping that they would lose, and then they didn't make the playoffs when I hoped they would make the playoffs.
But you ruined everything is what you did.
I basically ruined the St. Louis Blues 2025-26 season. So
you ruined their lives.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I wouldn't go that far either.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
it. Was kind
it.
of hyperbolic.
Not much to talk about regarding the Cardinals game yesterday. They got walloped 9-3. The only thing to mention is that Jordan Walker homered again.
Yeah.
8 home runs on the year. is tops in Major League Baseball. Next highest is 6, so he has a little bit of a lead now as well. And some history for Walker. This was his 6th home run in a 7-game span, first Cardinal to do that since 2019, and he is only the 5th Cardinal to hit 8 home runs in his first 16 games of a season, and he joined pretty good company. Stan Musial, Mark McGwire, Scott Rowland, and Albert Pujols are the only players
Were they good?
to have ever done that. I don't know. You tell me, Annie. Pujols the only one to ever do it under the age of 24. So
Jordan Walker, first ballot Hall of Fame?
Right now?
Yes.
He's on pace to hit 700 home runs.
Everything I own, going down on it. Which means he's going to have a terrible career at this point with how things have gone for the Blues.
Right.
So, okay, let's see.
One more?
One more, yeah. We'll go one more here. Now we talked a couple of months ago about the change in ownership for the Grafton Ferry. And, the season has officially opened up actually last Friday on April 10th. And the new hours for the ferry are Monday through Thursday, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I think one of the changes that they had experienced was it didn't run every single day of the week with the previous ownership, and now it does. So now you have the opportunity, if you live on the Missouri side, you don't have to take the entire river road to be able to go up to a really cool small town in Grafton. But if you want to cross over,
Or if you're trying to escape Illinois. Quicker.
That can also happen as well.
I think doesn't the ferry just go into Illinois further? I mean, it's still Illinois, right?
I don't know.
I love the Grafton Ferry. It's a experience of its own. Like, you don't even have to go to anything. Just riding the ferry is fun.
There's a quote here from the Grafton mayor saying, "This is going to be huge for the region, and it's also going to be huge for our town. Our ferry only used to run on the weekends," is what it was when the tourists came in. But now being able to be open for the commuters, this will be fantastic. The mayor of Grafton, Michael Morrow, is actually Sue Thomas's father-in-law. There's a little fun fact for you.
Weird little fact.
That's why things are
you.
improving up there once and for all. I love Grafton. We went there a few years ago with my husband just to spend I think it was I don't even know if we stayed 2 nights. It might have just been 1 night. And we just putzed around. It was so fun.
Wineries are cool, pretty views.
Yeah, the river. It's great. All right, let's take a quick break. X's and Y's. When we come back, this is where we help Ryan figure out the difference between boys and girls. Don't go away.
Know.
Have you ever felt like you were living just a B or B plus life? It's so dangerous to live that, more dangerous than a B minus or a C plus life, because when you're living a B or B plus life, you don't change it. You think it's good enough. Is it? I'm Susie Welch. I host a podcast called Becoming You. People think, okay, an A plus life is not available to me, but there is a way. We are all in the process of becoming ourselves. Listen to Becoming You wherever you get your podcast.
2026, I've been hearing from customers and friends that their utility bills went up quite a bit for their electric bill. That being said, and you're looking at buying a new air conditioner, or you're thinking, hey, I guess let's just get an air conditioner so it helps with the electric bills. If you have an old system, it definitely can help you. But watch your thinking. Just because you are told this is a so-called high-efficient air conditioner, it's not going to save you nowhere near what you think it's going to save you. Just replacing your old equipment is the biggest thing, and make your house efficient. An air conditioner is not going to make your house efficient. That being said, it's a great time to purchase an air conditioner if you get the correct one. Don't overspend. Don't believe the hype. In other words, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Call me, Bart Inman, at 314, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. God bless.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped help thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The YouTube live chat poll today, the question is, should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to ethics violations? There's a yes.
Just consider it yes or no. I don't like the way I worded these.
Some people were asking questions about, so yeah, we'll just say yes.
It should
or
matter
no.
or it shouldn't matter.
It should matter or it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes or no.
I'm really disappointed in me.
We all are.
Thank you. You're right to be.
That's the YouTube live chat poll.
I'm just getting back, folks.
You've done fine, but yes, the wording is a little confusing.
Well, I strive for fine, so thank you.
You've achieved it today. It is 2:32, 2:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
From Ellisville to Glen Carbon, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. X's and Y's.
All right, so if you have a question that you want us to address, if you've always wanted to know why women fill in the blank or what do men fill in the blank, you can text us at 314-241-9797. Ryan mans the text message line. So we figured he's got to do it somewhere. So we can read those text messages that you send us at 314-241-9797. If you have questions that you want us to ask or answer here as we wrap up this show. I have a first question for you, gentlemen. Now, I think it's probably pretty obvious, like, what do women do for self-care? We get massages. We take long, hot baths. Maybe some people read books. That's not me. Maybe go for a run. What do men do for self-care? And do real men participate in self-care?
Real men do participate in self-care. But it looks nothing like what women do. Nothing like it at all.
So
we like to go to spas.
I was going to say, can you please answer this for real before you just
Okay, that was the joke part. This is the real part. And I want to see if you agree with this, Brad.
Yeah, I'll see.
Men's self-care is a little bit focused on adrenaline.
Aggression.
Or projects. Men's self-care is
That's funny
around
because
one of those two
I'm
things.
always trying to help my man self-care by doing projects, and he doesn't really act like he's caring for himself when I do that.
Well, maybe he likes the adrenaline.
It's more of a long-term project thing than I'm going to quick install this light or whatever. It's more
It
of
is.
a
Yeah,
it's
big
more
projects.
It's more of a project that is not really centered about improving anything. It's just, I'll give you a great example. Legos. I build a Lego sometimes.
Lego? That
He
didn't
builds
take
a
very
Lego.
long.
I build a Lego. Just one though. It takes forever.
Is that something that the Lego people say?
I don't know, Brad.
I build a Lego
Do they say I build a Lego?
set. I build a Lego set? Or is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I like I build
Obviously,
a Lego.
I don't know, but I like building them, so it's
You know
fun
more than
for
we
me.
do.
Another project that I recently finished, I built a gaming computer. So I just put that together.
Big
and some of
projects.
the- Yeah, but it doesn't really have any purpose other than doing the project. I would say another project that guys really like is a classic car. They might have a classic car, and it may not need anything, but I'm going to go out there and change the points on this ignition. Car might be running fine.
Is that what you do, Ryan? Whatever he said, I can't even repeat it.
Yeah, I'll change the points on ignition every now and then. Whenever.
Where is the ignition?
Whenever.
The
it is.
ignition.
There's not an ignition on this car anywhere.
That's what it sounds like, though, when you're 3 beers in.
That's the problem I run into is I don't even know where the ignition is.
Maybe self-care is drinking. I hope not.
Self-care can be drinking. No, it's not true.
No.
It's more doing stuff that's either very sporting and like just gives you a rush. I would say that's some form of
throw hunting in
You're
there.
saying
self-care.
something
Yeah, I would say
physical?
That. A lot of times. I mean, for me, the adrenaline rush part of it is rides and amusement parks.
Yeah.
It feels to me like it's certainly not on the whole 100% women do this, 100% men do this, and 100% of women is this. But it almost feels like for women, it's more about being still, being calm, and calming your mind. And for men, it's almost like exerting energy, something much more physical.
It's challenging yourself.
Well,
is a big part of it.
I feel like
now
a good example of the difference between men and women is self-care. We like run in the opposite directions to self-care, and then we come back in the middle where it's more of a balanced mental physical approach.
Well, I would say too though that there's a part of like calming your mind, like fishing is self-care for men, and that is like just
hunting and fishing would be tops for my husband.
You just sit there.
That's calming your mind.
You're focused on the task at hand, but it's not really like requiring a lot.
And that's an important part of this is calming your mind happens because you're focused on something.
Yeah. And I'll add this too. It's usually disconnected from whatever it is that is going on in your life at that time. So you could just set life over here and then you go, I'm going to go fishing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go work on my car.
Very
and
true.
you're absorbed into that rather than everything else that's going on in life.
Okay.
Wait, real quick, Ethan, what do you do for self-care?
Massages
and pedicures?
Yeah, mostly. I would say that those two are definitely, I would say hunting and fishing. Are good ones. But like those are also, fishing I guess maybe a little bit, but hunting is like that's a scheduled thing. It happens once a year. It's not really like you could just pick it up and just go do it anytime that you want. So I would say like Netflix or just like taking time to just like watch a show or something, turn my brain off, is good to me, good for me at times. But
Sure.
yeah.
Ryan?
I'm going to ask this question from the text line simply because I think it is a good question. This is one we've talked about this type of subject before, though. It'll mostly fall on you, Annie. It says, as a Gen Xer who is a male and who likes to be nice and encourage people, serious question, how can I communicate with females without coming off as a creeper or thinking I'm hitting on them?
It's from the text line, so I have follow-up questions that might not be able to get the answers to. But how do I communicate?
He likes to encourage people, but I guess he's saying when he feels like when he says something to a woman, that comes off as either creepy or he's hitting on them.
I think this is I think this is the question. I'm going to say something, and then I think you're going to say, yeah, that's his question. But the question that I'm asking is specific to each and every individual woman you deal with. They're going to have individual reactions to how you react with them. But the question that I have is, what kind of encouragement are you giving the woman? And here's the question that I think is going to send a lot of men in one direction, and other women are going to understand what I'm saying. Does she need your encouragement? Did he say professional setting?
He didn't. He just said generally.
This falls into what is over broadly labeled as mansplaining. But if you're encouraging a woman, I'm trying to think of like a way that you would. Do you feel like you need to encourage me?
No, I don't need to encourage you, but I do like to encourage people in general.
Yeah, does that have to specifically be because like of a difference in gender? You know what I'm saying?
The difference in gender here is important because it becomes potentially like sexually uncomfortable for the female if she is interpreting the encouragement or the compliments as a move.
What if it's here's what my answer would be, and maybe it's too simple. Maybe you would look at this and say, no, that doesn't sound good. Make it clear. Hey, this is not me trying to hit on you. This is just me trying. What is?
It's getting worse.
I have
then the next day and be like, you look hot. You want to go out? I'm hitting on you.
Okay. Obviously, if you have like interest in them, then don't say that. But like, I don't see the issue with being like, hey, don't take this the wrong way. This is just like me being honest with you, like, and sharing your genuine opinion. If a girl has a problem with that I don't know what else a guy could do if there is genuine good intention there.
Well, see, that's the thing where this becomes difficult, and I understand why the person is saying this, because they are prone to want to encourage. That is, some people are prone to encourage. Some people are not at all. I mean, you'll notice this. If you become a parent, you're going to have a parent who is extra encouraging, extra supportive, and you're going to have a parent who's like, has extra high expectations, and hopefully that balances each other out. But if it's cross-gender in I'm specifically thinking about a workplace, but there's so many different instances where this could manifest where the circumstances are all different. But in a workplace, if you're an encouraging person and you're dealing with somebody who you offer encouragement to and it doesn't seem to be received in a way that was intended, you just don't do it again. But that doesn't, like, I'm going back to this part, and I am, like, hesitating to say it because I feel like you all three are going to yell at me at the same time, the same thing. But maybe she doesn't need your encouragement. Men who feel like women need their encouragement can sometimes come off as patronizing. Not because they are, but that can be the way it's perceived. So that creates a difficult situation across genders in a workplace where a guy is just genuinely trying to say something nice, but a woman who doesn't communicate in a love languages, words of affirmation kind of way takes that as a way that is not intended. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just because this is I'm glad we've talked this out. This is the important thing. If you are somebody who is prone to use words of encouragement, you like to do that, understand that there are people, men and women, who don't hear that. That's not their love language. They don't receive that. They might have to work to understand the intention, but that's not the way they function. And so it's not like women are this. People are individuals. So if you are trying to encourage people and you realize, oh, that person really appreciated that I said that nice thing about, oh, they did a great job on that report or whatever it is, then you know in that lane, you can go down that lane. You can say those things and then move on with your day. If you're getting the vibe that the person didn't appreciate it, just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and how often, I guess my follow-up would be, how often are people, even in people that tend to be encouragers, how often are they doing that with people that they wouldn't feel are comfortable receiving that? Well, I guess would be the question for me. I'm probably not going to go out of my way very often with people I'm not comfortable with. I'd be fine, encouraging any of you guys, Trisha, people that we work with at Y98, because we're around them a lot. I understand them. I feel like I know them. I'm not going to go over and do that to someone in sales that I see once every other week,
Can we
and
just
say,
try it in video
and say
and see what
hello
happens?
to, like, hey, Judith, I just felt like you needed to hear. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with people that I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, what I think also what I'm getting from this is if you're somebody who wants to encourage people, I would ask you, not because I'm putting anything upon you, but I would ask you what you're trying to get back from that. If you're trying to get affirmation from somebody that they appreciated that because that makes you feel like they liked the interaction with you, then you need to understand that what you're trying to go there is a back and forth between two humans that, like, it's good. We're good with each other. If encouragement to that person is not received the way you intended it, you just got to figure out a different way to do it.
As an encourager, I thought that
You just said in the last one that
great answer.
I did fine at best.
Yeah, and that was encouraging because you were actually below that.
Okay. So it was a lie.
Yeah, but it was with good intention.
Next question, Brad, real quick.
Yeah, this one came up, and I said told my wife I was going to ask this. What is it that takes women so long to get into or out of a vehicle?
Stuff. A lot of stuff.
What?
Like,
what?
Wait, are you talking about from the time they leave the door?
You pull up, you park the car, you open the door.
A lot of emotional baggage.
Their weight.
I get
Are
out
they
of
a
the
big- I'm so emotional.
I'm not kidding. I get out of the car and I will turn around, and it wasn't just.
Is it because you're a man?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it a man thing? Like,
what did your wife say?
Step out of the car. She's like, why are you
She
bothering me?
panicked. She didn't know.
She didn't know why she was taking so long.
Her response is, why are you bothering me?
Yeah, stop bothering me about that.
What are you doing when you get out of the car going tick-tock,
Apparently
tick-tock?
No.
absolutely nothing.
No,
Just standing there
reason,
waiting.
the only reason I'm aware of this is because whenever I get out of the car, I get out of my car, my truck, or whatever, and I close the door and I click the lock button.
She's in there forever because you locked her in.
No.
She's screaming.
No, because
Why don't you get out?
Her door is open. And the reason I know her door open is when I click the lock button, it does the double horn thing, and it's like, oh, she's not out yet. So I'm waiting. I was like, okay, Terry's with you. You got to take a little bit longer. I walk up to the door, and then I'll click the lock button. She's still not out of the
Is she on her
vehicle.
phone?
No. Just gets out.
Time out. Stop, Brad. Don't dig yourself deeper here. Ethan, do you have problems with your wife taking too long in the car?
I don't think so. The problem where I have issues with Hannah taking too long to get out of something is out the door.
Sure, but not out of the car.
No, I don't think the car is really...
Ryan?
an issue.
Miss Wiggins is really slow to the
I don't think
jump.
my why. I do know exactly what he's talking about, waiting to lock the door with the kids. The kids do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Katie.
I think it's just a problem with your wife.
All right, I'll tell you.
She like going to grab, does it maybe like grabbing the purse or something?
No,
like,
I'm gonna flip the script though. Maybe you're getting out too soon and not being considerate of everything she needs to do and staying with her. Maybe you're going too fast and she's not going too
Maybe
slow.
that's my question then. What is it that she is doing that I could help her with?
Her makeup. Just sit.
Maybe you just
Just
need to
Maybe
have
just sit and not be like TikTok, Terry.
Little bit of
Let's
lip gloss
go.
on the bottom
Yeah,
lip.
I don't think that'll make
You
it.
need to have a conversation before you get out of the car every time. Is everything okay? Do we need to talk?
Should we talk?
What can I grab for you?
What shade are you looking for? You want to borrow mine?
How's
Up,
your-
I got none. Let's go.
How is
Sweetie,
your
we're going
emotions?
in. We're in for the night.
It happens when we pull her drive.
Do you feel like I'm guarding your heart?
Are we talking about minutes, hours?
What book shall we read
Yeah, I'd
together
say
tonight?
probably.
What
It probably
self-help
takes her
book?
at least a minute to exit the car. From the time we stop and she opens her door, it's at least a
Well,
minute.
Terry is an absolutely lovely person, so
She hasn't had any sort of recovery surgery or anything.
No.
She's doing okay physically,
she's
right?
doing okay
All right.
physically.
All right. Just gotta make sure.
Maybe that's just a
Wasn't
conversation.
any other
that
variables
you just
that we
have to
weren't-
have with
No,
her.
I've
she's
had that
just a woman.
conversation, and that's why I'm having this
Or did you say,
conversation.
Oh,
I'm a
that
girl?
makes
I wouldn't
sense.
have this conversation on the air if I didn't have that conversation with her first.
You've been cooked.
I don't do what you do.
I'm sorry to say this, but I feel like maybe it's just something she's doing to get herself together and to be presentable, and I don't think she's taking too long. I think you're getting out too quickly.
Brad, maybe she's just trying to get your attention.
We're going back in the house.
Maybe she's just trying to get you to notice her.
Oh, I notice.
It's working. It's working.
She's gonna keep doing it because she's getting all this attention from you.
I like how you talk to her and you're like, I'm going to talk about it on the show. We'll figure out what's wrong with women. A couple more questions in a minute. Don't go away. So if you call Civia Law right now at 833-995-WILL, that's 833-995-WILL, Civia Law is going to help you establish that estate plan, that trust, the powers of attorney that you don't have. You don't have them. You don't have the powers of attorney yet established. That's so important for your health decisions, for financial decisions. And also, let me talk for a second about probate. If you don't get your affairs in order, if something happens to your loved one, if something happens to you, your loved one will be left behind having to go through the probate system, which costs so much money and time, and it just takes over your ability to actually go through that unfortunate moment in your life, that phase where you need to spend time mourning and addressing the transition in your life, not fighting with probate and the court system in order to get your affairs actually in order. You can do that right now. And if you're one of the first 10 people right now to call 833-995-WILL and mention my name, your first appointment session, that strategy session, $300 value, free. 833-995-WILL. Call and mention Annie, CiviaLaw.com.
97.1 FM Talk in Action is spotlighting Our Ladies Inn, providing safe shelter, care, and support for pregnant women and children facing homelessness. Since 1982, they've helped local families build stable, independent futures. Learn more at OurLadiesInn.org.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep. Graybar does that.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio every Saturday at 2, right here on 97.1 FM Talk, and you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis Conservative.
Man, we got to get back on the air. Ryan's trying to compliment me off air, and none of us know what to do.
Yeah, it didn't land either.
No, it
I did try to give you a genuine compliment about doing the show.
You said you literally said when I'm here, it's harder to do your job.
It's harder, but it's better. That's what I said.
Ooh, the end of the way you said better, that with the confidence that you just delivered, that made me feel like you really meant it.
I
It's
don't
better.
know if I did anymore. The more you question the compliment, the less I know what I mean.
X's and Y's, you said you had another one.
I do, but this is a ridiculous question, but I mean it.
The way all
No,
good
I'm
Ryan
going to save
questions.
this question because another
No!
one came in
Oh.
from the text line, and it's better than mine. It says, I'm going to have to radio this up a little bit. When do girls learn the power of their femininity, their sexuality? Something like that. It doesn't say that, but that's what they're asking.
When do they learn it?
Yes.
There are varying degrees of that. Middle school boys are dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Emphatic nods in the...
We still feel like middle school boys. I want to speak on behalf of all men.
We talked about this the other day, and I said, like, when do you fully mature your sense of humor? And you were like, pretty much middle school, and it's just kind of, it just gets a little more refined after that, but that's where it stays.
That's it, yeah.
In high school, boys are in hot pursuit, and I have a high school. I have a 16-year-old boy in high school, and a 13-year-old girl, and I am constantly parenting both of them from my understanding of having been a teenage girl one time in my life, but just understanding that boys at that age are so physically driven, they don't mentally understand what's going on, really. And in many cases, in my opinion, boys in the high school age are looking for affirmation to the point where that even extends into college. I remember being hit on by guys in college, and it was just so obvious. They cared nothing about me. They just wanted to see if they could catch my attention, if I would be impressed that they were making an attempt.
The thrill of the hunt.
It didn't matter at all if I was like, yeah, I'll dance with you, or yeah, I'll go out with you. They just wanted to see if they could catch my eye. And for a girl, it's really important to understand that, because your sexuality, it's, to me, femininity and female sexuality is the most powerful thing on the planet, because the most powerful men are often crippled by their inability to say no to a woman. Over and over and over again. They can conquer countries and run worlds, but they fall
run
apart.
for Congress in California.
You knew it was coming. You just knew it was coming.
They can do all of these things, but the femininity is what will finally cripple them. And so I don't know. I think that women start to understand that maybe in college to the fullest extent, but a lot of people are just trying to figure things out there into their early 20s. I got to do the poll.
Yeah.
We're done. Should political party matter when pushing for expulsion from Congress due to the ethics violation? You got the results?
I sure do. 91% say no. Hold everyone accountable.
Yeah.
9% say yes, even if it costs the majority.
I will do better on the poll. Answer options, yes or no, and I'm with you guys. 91% said no. Me too. Me too. We're next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Wesley Financial. Pokemon cards have joined rare baseball cards and comic books on the list of expensive collectibles. Influencer Logan Paul sold a Pokemon card for $16 million.
The blue chip items and this is the best Pokemon card.
Stephen Fischler of the online comic book marketplace Comic Connect says kids who collected Pokemon cards are now grown up, and some have plenty of money to spend. I'm Rob Hart.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group, as they show you how to create a worry-free retirement. It's Tuesday, April 28th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30.